The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Yeah, we're at the midway mark. Wednesday, welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. You're a beautiful crowd. Going to turn out to be an ice-cold, windy bastard out there today, Josh.
Yeah, wind advisories. My smart speaker was yelling at me all day yesterday.
What does it tell you, to put on a stocking cap?
It keeps yelling at me like, hey, we got a little warning for you there, pal. Did you hear the last one? I'm like, yes, I heard the last one.
What do you call the setup?
Well, I'm calling it a smart speaker because if I say the name, it might trigger some people's smart speakers, and then they'll yell at us.
And you round the corner into the kitchen, and it gives you a quick weather update?
Yeah.
F me
That's
running.
nice.
And then there'll be a light on there, and sometimes that light will be indicating other things, like you have a shipment or something like that.
Unbelievable.
You have a low-price offer. But
Someone's at the door, dude.
Yeah, something like that. So then I'll ask it, oh, what's new? And then they'll tell me the same thing, like a broken record.
Alexa?
Maybe.
That's the one that I recognize. Yeah, it's supposed to be terrible today, a little bit later on. Many of us will likely have to resort to cannibalism.
About time.
In order to survive. Experts have said. Good luck to you. Damn, Cubby, I got all excited last night watching the television news. I really thought we were going to be able to listen to audio of O.J. Simpson admitting to killing his wife this morning.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking.
Hell of a story.
Yeah, you think, well, shoot, it's been so long. Maybe it would have come out sooner, but you understand the guy's a bodyguard, and he's waited until after O.J. was dead. Maybe he didn't want to incriminate his former buddy, but yeah, it's all BS.
I caught this on the television news. There was some story going around that police right here in Bloomington had access to audio of O.J. Simpson admitting to killing his wife because, as Josh was referencing, it's all kind of complicated. Like some ex-bodyguard of OJ's was arrested, and he had a backpack, and he had something called thumb drives in the backpack, and on the thumb drives was audio of OJ admitting that he killed it. And then I guess the whole thing was nonsense?
Yeah, well, or it wasn't incriminating enough. I don't have any other details other than they said, yeah, it's not. It's nothing.
God dang it.
That's too
That
bad.
would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I was thinking I'd walk in the building this morning and Josh would be over there editing that audio. And it'd be OJ going, yeah.
It's always fun to start your Wednesday with a nice murder confession.
I was just thinking about how I killed that lady so many years ago and her pal.
If I remember correctly, the news report also said these supposed thumb drives had information on the death of, don't tell me, I remember these guys, Tupac Shakur, information on the death of, who was the great big guy?
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie
Smalls.
Biggie Small. But what was his other name?
Notorious B.I.G.
That's right, the Notorious B.I.G. Ah, man. But I guess it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
That dude would have had everything. Every piece of audio people want.
OJ, deader than disco now as of a few months ago. Dude knew how to keep a secret, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I really thought on his
the grave.
deathbed he was going to admit it.
So did I. I really thought same thing.
I did it.
On his damn deathbed.
If I did something like that, I would totally whisper it as I was dying. Yeah.
I think you'd want to say it sooner than that.
He must have admitted it to someone along the way, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure.
have to.
Yeah.
After a couple beers.
You think you could hang on to a secret like that, Josh, for 35 damn years?
Oh, God, no. I have such a guilty conscience.
Definitely
no way.
not you.
I told my dad the first time I had sex, I couldn't hold on to that.
Yeah, you can't hang on to that kind of information.
No.
I forgot that about you.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to know any gossip. I don't want to know any of that kind of stuff because I feel too guilty knowing stuff.
And OJ didn't die suddenly, did he? Like his wife and Ron Goldman all those years ago. He didn't die suddenly. He knew he was sick. So it almost played out to where it would have been a perfect opportunity, if that's what you want to call it, to admit these things on his way out. What are you going to do to me now? I'm dying, right? But as far as we know, he didn't. Some bitch knew how to keep a secret.
I think I would have gone this way. Would have lain in the deathbed. Your hospice. It's just a matter of time, and families surrounding. I'm like, everybody, lean in. There's something I've been wanting to tell you. No, closer. Get closer. Beep. Flatline and just knowing I was about to die and
You
get
blue
so
ball
close
everybody?
to telling them, and then just just check out.
You were hoping you could time it out perfectly in that fashion. Mm-hmm. Well, that was disappointing. I was really excited about that information last night.
I would say the closest he came to admitting it was his book. Where, honestly, if you were accused of something like that and you're innocent, wouldn't you want to distance yourself as much as possible versus writing a book, If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer?
Did you read the book?
No, I basically
Bizarre.
Cliff Notes versions on Wikipedia and stuff like that.
And so, I have vague memories of this. He wrote the book, If I Did It. And he basically... I don't know.
If I did it, wink, wink.
Right.
I just can't believe he had time to write that book because he was so busy trying to track down the real killers like he vowed to do when he was found innocent.
Well, he saw the real killers every time he glanced in a mirror.
Yeah, he must have admitted this to someone.
You have to.
Yeah. 9 folks out of 10 would have to.
I would. Yeah. Eventually. You slip
guilt
up
is
a little too.
Guilt is a powerful thing. It'll just eat you alive.
Even just put it in your video will or something if you don't want to tell people. At least let them know at the end.
That's the one thing that you tell everyone.
If you have any ounce of humanity for the families of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson, you would say, yeah, I did it. Versus, they all know, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a small part of them that might wonder, well, did he do it? I would think 99.9% of it, they realize this is the guy.
Right.
But wouldn't you just, as a human being,
Yes.
want to let's get this out there so there's no doubt.
Right.
No, the cops aren't searching for him, whatever the cops are doing at this point.
Right. That's a great way to put it. If you had any small, just little speck of humanity, you would give the families that closure, like Josh just said. Not that they needed it. They friggin' knew. But, so actually, like we were just saying, you said you'd have to tell somebody.
Yeah.
And I said, 9 out of 10, maybe OJ was that exception.
one.
Maybe he never, even his closest friend, what was that dickhead's name that drove him around in the
Cato
vehicle?
Kalin.
Al Cowlings.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Still, as you can tell by the I guess, my delivery, still a fascinating story in my book. And I've watched all the documentaries, or at least I think I've watched all the documentaries. Still fascinating. For many, many, many different reasons. But the core reason for me is, and for a lot of people my age, is that there was no way in a million years I thought he was that type of a guy. He was a guy that I looked up to when I was a kid. I thought he was so cool. And I loved when he started getting into television commercials.
Oh, and he's funny in movies. And
Oh, of course, The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
The first movie I ever saw him in is still, to this day, one of my favorite movies. It's called The Towering Inferno from around, I want to say, 1974. You can look it up. It's Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, for Christ's sake. OJ doesn't play a huge role in the movie, but he's in there. So, amongst all the reasons why it's a fascinating and horrifying and disappointing story. The core reason is why he really was one of those guys for me when I was a little kid. And I still vividly remember the first time I saw any kind of a blurb on television, O.J. Simpson is wanted for his wife's murder. I laughed my nuts off. I said, what are the cops? Friggin' moron? O.J.? I just saw him do a dildo joke in the latest Naked Gun movie. He didn't kill his wife.
Well, that's the thing. It's such a shocking crime no matter who did it, but then that's who did it?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think you wouldn't admit it out of guilt. I think you'd want the satisfaction, like, yeah, that dick had to go.
Yeah, I would want people to know what I did.
You would,
I got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want respect for that kill.
Exactly. You want cred.
So maybe there's nothing more to this story out of Bloomington where they supposedly had some audio of the man admitting that he killed his wife. Maybe there's nothing more to it. Maybe there is something still that'll come about. I don't know, but
I thought it was pretty funny when O.J. was arrested for breaking into that hotel room or wherever it was and stealing memorabilia.
yeah.
And then at the time, I think the justice system said, let's really stick it to this guy because we screwed up last time.
And he did end up going away for how long?
I don't remember, but it was like he was punished it was pretty harsh from what I was told, or what I remember them reporting. Like, normally it wouldn't be this harsh, but they got him.
They got him.
At that time, I thought it was funny. KS95, they did a bit where they were handing out free orange juice on like some corner somewhere in Minneapolis, and they had signs saying "Free OJ" right after that happened.
Oh, Jesus.
I thought that's pretty good. I wouldn't have the balls to do that, but that's pretty funny.
All right. Here's listeners texting in saying, watch this documentary on OJ, watch that documentary. Yeah, I think I've seen them. I can never think of the titles for all of them because the titles really don't matter, I guess, you know. But I think I've seen them all. And even the movies. The most recent one, I believe, was a television movie, and it was poor choice in my book, but I believe Cuba Gooding Jr. played O.J. Simpson.
He did.
I thought that was a mistake, but other than that,
the main documentary that everybody talked about is called O.J. Made in America. It was the 30 for 31. It's spread over multiple parts. Total runtime 7 hours and 47 minutes. So,
My God!
if you want to learn a little bit about O.J. and you got 7 hours and 47 minutes to spare, that'll do it.
Yeah, I watched that pig.
It was good. It was very well done.
Yeah, it was worth it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like I watched it all in one night. For God's sake, I'm not a cyborg. Here's a question from a listener. Did anyone, and this is for the older guys and gals, did anyone have OJ's, what's the term now? Every athlete has their own shoe. They call it a signature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This listener wants to know, did anyone have OJ's signature football cleats? When you were a kid, they were called the Juice. This listener says a kid on my team had them, and they were cool. I'm sure they were cool. No, I did not have the cleats, but I had his signature football. That I believe also was called the Juice, which was his nickname. That's great. I don't remember the cleats.
Up North Metal Mullet Jesus said he still has the O.J. Simpson football game from the 70s.
What football game?
Wasn't it like some sort, let me see.
Must have been a board game.
Yeah, it was a board game, I thought.
Huh. That's unbelievable.
At least that's the one I was thinking of.
I hate to make our first conversation of today's program all about violence, but I am curious, Josh. How's that lady doing, the one that got curb stomped by a herd of deer at the holiday marathon?
I think she's okay, but we posted that the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, that's up.
Boy,
I never saw the video.
that deer hated her.
Yeah, check out 93x.com.
Okay, I got to go there real quick.
The audio's good, too. Let me see if I can grab that here.
So this was in a town, Summers, in upstate New York. They had a foot race.
Turkey trot.
Yeah, I was hoping to avoid that.
You don't like
Why?
that?
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's so dopey.
Cute.
Why can't we just call it a foot race, Ashley? There was a foot race.
Well, because
He calls it a foot race.
I mean, I had a foot race with not too long ago.
Who calls it a
It's not
foot race? That's what they're doing. They're racing using their feet. It's a foot race. It's not a turkey trot.
No one was trotting.
We're not 5
Definitely
years
running.
old anymore. It's just a foot race.
So, like, Grandma's Marathon, do you call that foot race? I mean,
Yeah.
is it kind of everything?
Grandma's foot race.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to a foot race. Well, which one? There's like 10. How do you distinguish?
I don't. It's just a foot race. I don't care if it's 28 miles or 50 yards. It's a friggin' foot race.
The Boston foot race.
Here's the audio of the I'm sorry, foot race.
Oh, I forgot to go to the website and look at the video. The audio's terrific. Does this deer continue to stomp her insides out?
The deer doxed the grandma on Facebook, right? Gave out all her information, and she's coming after the rest of the family. She also stole her identity.
So
Stole
again,
her credit card
Terrible.
info.
a foot race on Thanksgiving
Turkey
in
trot.
upstate New York. A bunch of folks. Why you would ever sign up for something like this, I have no idea. They're running down the street, and their relatives are acting as if they care, and this is an interesting spectator sport. And then a pack of deer come out the woods and beat a lady into oblivion.
Hated
I like
that
how
lady.
the lady almost got hit twice. Yeah. She almost got hit by 2 deer. There was a deer before. She kind of like stopped and, oh my God, that was a wham!
Oh, that was a close one.
What the hell are these people doing? Some of them aren't even racing. They're just walking.
Yeah, because it's a trot. It's not really a race.
Oh, there's a difference between a turkey trot and a foot race?
Well, yeah, because it's like one of those 5K, like a shuffle, right? Where you can jog if you want,
okay.
you can run, you can just kind of walk.
So these people aren't even athletes.
No, it's usually like a lot of families do it together.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood because I hadn't seen the video. This is just a bunch of neighborhood slobs going around the block a few times.
Yeah, before they eat.
Well, then they had it coming. Don't be clogging up my city streets with that nonsense.
They always talk about so I think the reason they are singling out one woman is because she did have to go to the hospital, right?
Oh, no.
Just to get checked out. But there's 2 ladies that got their asses kicked by this thing.
Yep.
And the other lady's probably like, well, what the hell?
No one cares about me.
Oh, yeah, I got bounced off the pavement, too.
What it is
She got up like it was nothing, though.
now that I've watched the video, what this friggin' deer did was just like an open ice hip check.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the sumbitch did. That's a lot of fun to watch. I'm glad I finally got around to the video. But one of them had to go to the... Do you remember that video from years and years ago, Josh, where some dude's in his backyard because I think somehow he's convinced himself he's the deer whisperer? You know, there's plenty of people out there like this. Who, they have one encounter with an animal and then they're an expert on that animal.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I understand how he thinks. Oh, no, it's going to be fine. Don't get too close to that animal. Well, no, I've done this before. There's all those animal whisperer type of
Yeah,
people.
they think they're like a fairy princess, like
Right.
Snow White or something.
And the animal's not looking at that individual any differently than they do at anyone else. But they've convinced themselves, I am the deer whisperer. So he goes out into his backyard. His wife's running the video camera. She's warning him the whole time, Donnie, don't go near. Shut up over there. I know this deer. And then the deer just, what do they call this thing at the gym, Josh?
Speed bag?
The speed bag. The deer gets up on his hind legs and just speed bags this dude's forehead for a half hour. And the wife, the whole time, the wife's just go, well, get out of there, Donnie. And he can't because the deer is just wailing. This ended up on America's Funniest Home Videos.
yeah.
It's not like the guy died or anything.
He got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he did.
Some of those, where the dudes decide they're going to take on a kangaroo, those get bad.
Yeah, they
Australian Jesus said kangaroos kill folks.
Yeah, they're dicks.
They don't mess around.
They'll take their big old claws there, their feet, right? And then they'll just gut you.
Oh.
I remember that one video. A guy was paragliding or whatever, and he was landing, and then all of a sudden you see a kangaroo in the background, and it comes after him and just beats his ass. It's so funny.
As soon as he landed?
Yeah.
So the kangaroo was watching him the entire time saying,
Yeah.
soon as this sumbitch's feet touch the ground,
And you can see him hopping the whole way. It's like, oh, no, this is not good.
Have you seen them travel in packs?
Kangaroo.
Or, yeah, I don't know what they call it.
That's terrifying. Oh my
They call
gosh.
it, yeah.
Roommates. I don't know what they call them, but they're just like herds of these animals coming at you, and they want to kill you.
Yes, they do.
You don't want to see the kangaroo gang roll up on you.
No, you don't, because like I said, they take their little baby arms, they grab you by your shoulders, and then they kick their bottom feet, back feet, whatever, up in the air. They tear your guts out of your body, and then they move on with their lives.
Yeah, they fight dirty.
Well, that's the only way they know how to. They got those baby little...
Going back to deer, there was a video a year ago that I absolutely love. This guy's trying to sell one of his trucks, and a guy pulls up, and he's going to buy the truck. All of a sudden, you see this deer jump over a van, and he lands into the bed of the truck.
Oh, I remember that.
Yep, it's such a good
insane.
video.
Well, can I maybe get a discount now?
Yeah, didn't it F up the truck a little bit?
Yeah, it did. The side of the truck.
When a deer gets an idea in its head, there's no turning back.
Nope.
If they want to jump through your window and, pick up your cat and then escape back the way they came into they'll just do it. They get spooked easy. They get scared easy. And then that's when you're in real trouble. When you scare one of those damn things, if they have the opportunity, that's when you're in real trouble.
Wapple just sent me the video. He was talking about the guy who he lands and gets his ass kicked by a couple of kangaroo. Yeah, that would be terrifying.
That would be so scary.
He ripped his heart out and put it in his pouch.
Yeah.
You left that part out.
They're not afraid of Dick Tracy.
And they're jacked, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why are they so muscular? It's weird.
Their diet. It's diet and exercise, Josh.
Mediocre machinist Jesus. I don't know if he's messing with me or if this is true. A group of kangaroos is called a mob, troop, or court. Sewer lining Jesus said a pack of kangaroos is called a gangaroo.
I like that. That's perfect.
I wish I came up with that. Oh, this is Brewers and High Life Jesus said the only thing good about kangaroos are kangaroo panties. Yes, absolutely.
That brings me back.
Oh, this is funny. March Madness Jesus said if you look at a picture of a kangaroo up close, it looks like a deer that did time.
It kind of does.
Yeah, they do. They do look. Wow, now that I'm looking at this picture, I never noticed how similar they are from the neck up. Deer and kanga, by God, F me running sideways ruse. Are they related somehow, Josh? If you look it up on Wikipedia, are they somehow, what's the term we learned in school? The word I'm trying to come up with.
Like a kingdom, what's a genus, a species?
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see, kangaroo.
Yeah. Are they related? Or were they from the same?
No.
Well, they sure look a lot alike.
Well, they've got maybe. What about by marriage? Look up. Are they related by marriage?
Oh, that's always a possibility. Kangaroos are really soft. Have you guys? Oh, yeah, you guys have touched one before.
I don't
'Cause
recall
We've had them in the studio.
I don't recall.
Oh, I never touched it.
No, oh my gosh, they are incredibly soft. Like by far the softest animal I've ever touched.
How do you spell it?
SAWFT.
Soft. I don't recall holding a kangaroo or touching one, but obviously you do.
Yep. Because it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Do
of
we?
course.
Well, knowing
It was a
this
baby
now,
kangaroo.
Was it a baby
Just a
kangaroo?
little baby.
Knowing this now, just learning this from you, that kangaroos, maybe specifically baby kangaroos, are very soft to the touch. Do we actively, we meaning humans, do we actively skin them at will and make sandals and slippers out of them or anything like that?
I don't know if we do.
People are saying that
I bet.
kangaroo steaks are good. Maybe they eat them.
Oh, that means, yeah, people probably skin them.
What if I got you, knowing that you fell in love with this baby kangaroo years ago, I don't recall, would it bother you if this Christmas I got you just the most luxurious kangaroo baby blanket made out of the skin of the...
I'm good on that. I don't need that.
But it's so
No,
soft.
no,
Put
thanks.
one in front of a
No.
fireplace?
Yeah, you're
No,
napping on the
no,
couch. You wouldn't want that baby kangaroo skin blanket?
No, I want that on the kangaroo.
You want it back on the baby
Yeah,
kangaroo.
keep it on the kangaroo.
Okay.
It's just, and it's looking at you with big, like, Disney eyes.
Oh, my God.
You didn't have to kill me.
It's awful.
Why'd you do that, Ashley?
So
It's
you
not
want
a gift. at
Josh
all.
and I should cancel our trip to the Outback
Yes.
to murder
Yes.
multiple baby kangaroos in order to make you a Christmas blanket.
You guys do
Okay.
not have to go to the safari anymore.
All right.
You're good.
I said we should go to Australia, and Josh said, to kill some kangaroos, we can just go to the zoo, he said.
I'm being told here that the Mall of America has a jerky shop with kangaroo jerky.
That's what I thought. I thought I saw that somewhere. And I
They
was
have a
looking
bunch
up
of weird
kangaroo
stuff.
jerky.
Then if we're eating them, then we got to be making clothes out of them, right?
Probably.
I don't know these.
sadly.
I'm just curious. I don't know these things.
Someone says high-end soccer shoes are made from kangaroo leather.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's Colombian Jesus. Yeah. I didn't know. Dana.
Yeah, I've never heard
you're
that
the soccer
before.
guy.
I can't believe my ears when I hear things like that.
What if it helped your hops? Can you imagine? You get the spirit of the kangaroo, and you can get a couple more inches of vert.
That's how you get all those headers.
That'll give you a concussion wobble. Stay away from that.
We ought to get going again. But I'll tell you what, we're off to a terrific start. It's a Wednesday morning. We appreciate you joining us. What does this mean now? Oh, yeah, a little bit later on, hour and a half from now, maybe near 2 hours from now, Pigs winger Marcus Foligno will be jumping on the telephone with us. He had a hell of a game last night. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder at 7:30, and then around 8 we'll get Marcus into the mix. It's going to be something special. We appreciate it again. We'll be back in a couple minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with AutoQuote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Welcome back. Well, we started the program this morning talking about O.J. Simpson. He's dead. But there was a story that cut loose on the television news last night. And I guess this was all nonsense. But the story said that the Bloomington police had in their possession audio of O.J. Simpson admitting to killing his wife. We'll see if it goes anywhere. But the last articles that we've read, the articles said, no, they don't have that kind of information. That was all hype. O.J. took his secret all the way to the grave, didn't he, Cubby?
It appears that way.
As far as we know. Not easy to do, difficult to do, especially something like that.
You know, there's theory, and some of those, I forget the documentary I watched, but they talked about maybe this family member of his did it or somebody else did it. You would think even that would be tough to keep, right? If again, a shred of humanity would make you want to give some peace to the family on your way out.
There was even one of those documentaries about O.J. Simpson, where right at the very end they hinted that Marcus Allen might have done it.
Oh, wow.
Marcus Allen, maybe he's watching that going, what the hell?
Oh, man.
Another former University of Southern California star running back, Marcus Allen. So, speaking of keeping secrets, one of our listeners, OG's Jesus, texted in And I imagine because he doesn't use his real name, he's comfortable telling us his secret. But he does say there is one that he's taken to the grave with him. And this is it. He says, I whacked it to pictures of my sister-in-law.
Yeah, that's something you definitely take to the grave, man.
Yeah, you don't admit that one.
He says even if he's reincarnated and lives another life, he will take that to the grave.
You have to.
It doesn't matter how many lifetimes he lives, he's not telling anybody.
Nobody's ever going to know. I want to know how long he's able to hold on to this information. Like, how recent was the whacking?
Yeah, good question, dude.
Was this pre-marriage? I mean, was it before she was officially your sister-in-law?
Get back to us on...
By the way, I'm so glad he said in-law, because at first I was a tad shocked.
Yeah, me too. I thought I was going to be sick.
Please get back to us, oh, geez, Jesus. You've already told us, the good stuff. What else can you tell us? How long ago was this? Was she already your sister-in-law officially? Does she do something for a living where all of us could whack it while looking at pictures of her?
I was going to say, feel free to send us pictures.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
We'll rate her in the whacking index.
Whackability scale.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like it if a family member, whether genetically or by marriage, was whacking it to me. Might feel a little weird, but I'd be honored if someone did.
Just anyone.
Yeah, not a family member. That would be really uncomfortable.
It would.
Anyone, Josh says.
I could help you out
No,
there.
no. I prefaced it without that. But, oh, geez, Jesus, I'll return the favor. If you whack it to me, I'll whack it to you. I just want one person to try it one time.
All right, now we got other listeners admitting to using their in-laws as masturbation fuel. Other listeners, oh, geez, Jesus, if this makes you feel any better about it, and maybe you're in the process of texting us back right now about some of the questions we have for you. There are other listeners saying they have used their in-laws as masturbation gas.
I've never done that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
By the way, my tone suggested I was judging. I just meant I was trying to think. I've never done that.
I'm sorry?
My tone might have suggested I was judging those who have done that, which I'm not.
No.
I was just trying to think at the same time as I was talking. I have not done it.
These things.
Is this true? This person texted, I wish I had a name. They said they heard a rumor that OJ's kid did it. Yeah, that was something that was brought up.
Yeah, that has been brought up many, many, many times.
But he has more information.
He does?
He said that he or she, the kid asked OJ for some money, and then OJ said, "Go ask your mama." It was a communication error. How embarrassing that must have been for the family.
I'll be damned. All right. We'll wait and see if OG's Jesus has anything else to say about this sister-in-law of his. For now, we'll get rolling on the stupid news. I consider myself a lucky man for a few different reasons. One of them being I've never found myself in any kind of a serious money dispute, whether it be a friend or a business, none that I can think of anyway. We've heard many stories right here on this radio program where disputes over money turn damned ugly. And here's a great example. A couple over there in stupid New Zealand, they had a dispute over money with a car salesman. Now, the couple says they were expecting a $15,000 refund at one point or another from this car salesman. The car salesman disagreed, and the whole damn nightmare ended up in court. And just to show you how deeply the car salesman disagreed with the idea of sending $15,000 on over to this couple, this is how passionately he disagreed. The car salesman took down his pants and his underwears. As a grown man, he did this now. He took down his pants and his underwears, he sprayed soft brown feces all over a toilet, not in it, on it. And he put some feces also all up and down the back seat of a car. All right? Then the car salesman took pictures of the turds that he made, and then he sent those pictures to the couple.
Unless his feces wasn't solid whatsoever, he spread that stuff. The pictures are blurred out, but it didn't matter.
It's horrible.
I mean,
a lot of blur.
You could see everything.
It's horrible.
I don't want to know.
The pictures are blurred out, and they're still some of the most disgusting photos I've ever seen.
It's still gross.
That was the statement he chose to make as a grown man in this money dispute with this couple. He's a professional, supposedly a professional car salesman. And I'm not sure if the car that he sprayed on was the car the two sides were arguing about. That doesn't matter, I guess. That was the statement he made. And if you see pictures of the car salesman, he looks like a big, dumb child, doesn't he, Josh?
Yeah, he kind of has that appearance.
So, along with the horrible and disgusting pictures, this second grader disguised as a fully grown car salesman, aside from the pictures, he also sent the couple a message. And the message said, "Please see attached, paid in full. I split it in 2 payment parts." You get it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have a fantastic, great day.
Those guys sure are fools. Look, I made a fool out of them.
Yes,
didn't I?
yes, he did. Christopher Schwartz is the name of this effing imbecile who sent the poo pictures. Instead of the $15,000, the couple got that little prize instead. The court case that played out now that I was telling you about, the court case exposed the fact that this Schwartz bitch just pocketed the $15,000 that was supposed to go to that couple. Scumbag, prick, 8-year-old that he is.
We've had these conversations before, but you're forever that guy now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you earned it, and that you should be forever that guy, but nobody's going to forget that.
There's no coming back from that, no.
Like, you know, if you went to jail for, I don't know, shoplifting.
Strangling your girlfriend half to death.
Well, nothing that dramatic, but that might be easier forgotten than doing something like this.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be. I think when you spray diarrhea in 2 different locations and send pictures of that diarrhea over a money dispute, I believe that hangs over your head longer than if you half strangle your girlfriend to death.
I gotta be honest. If I'm in prison, and I wouldn't last long.
No, you would not.
In case I ever do and someone's listening, I will be your bitch, and immediately I will rock your world. Just protect me. If I was ever in prison and they said, "Hey, you get to pick your roommate." Now, here's the thing: this guy, he did choke a person half to death. But this guy, he crapped in a car. He also crapped on a toilet. Now, keep in mind, not in a toilet. He took a photo, and he thought he got the better of other people. Which guy do you want?
Who do you pick?
I'd have to think about it for a second.
That's a really good point, Josh. I would probably pick the attempted murder.
I'm going with the half-girlfriend strangler.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think so.
This person who strangled the person, I'd at least ask for more details.
Yes.
I'd need more details on the situation.
Yeah, does he do this to just everybody? Does he have an anger problem?
Yeah, it was like, the guy hit his child and then drove off, and he caught up to him. Like, okay, I'll share a cell with that. I understand that.
Now, back to this car salesman. He doesn't even deserve that title. There are a lot of titles this guy doesn't deserve. The story leads me to believe that he's still selling cars in New Zealand, but probably not too many more cars after this story goes around town. Yeah. I would imagine this will be the death knell of his career as a car salesman once this reaches everybody in town. The poor couple who unfortunately had to face the brunt of the car salesman's disturbed, childlike poo tantrum. They said right here, here's a quote from the couple. They said, "We just wanted to buy a car." Instead, he essentially took our money and sent us pictures of poo. Who does that? They asked. Who does that?
I don't even like friendly pictures of poo.
No.
Nope.
You know, you do that to the wrong person. Send pictures of poo. You do that to the wrong person, you're going to get a bicycle chain across the jaw.
It was just a couple weeks ago, I had a friend say, oh, man, you wouldn't believe what I just produced. Here, I'm going to send you a picture.
Oh,
and I
no.
tell him, like, no, I'm past
Don't do that. No.
I believe you.
Really? Wait a minute. You're telling me you have a friend who recently threatened to send you a picture of their feces?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, he said it had been hanging on to it for a while. It just, he was backed up, and he said it was a record for him.
Josh, you live your own life, but I'm going to choose not to be friends with those types of people.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not in 7th grade anymore.
I think you should think about it, Josh.
Think about it.
And I grew up in the Jackass era, Josh. My friends and I never have once done that. Sent
That
pictures.
surprises me, Dana.
I figured
That seems up your guys' alley.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that, too.
Yeah, some of the stuff you guys did over that, I think is more questionable. The poop thing is a little more common. Unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I knew quite a few dudes in high school that did that. Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic of whacking it to your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
wow.
get back to that.
Oh, okay.
Hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus said his sister-in-law has the face of a saint. Bernard. That was not going to work for him.
Son of a bitch.
You don't even get a chance to be creepy.
All right. In a godforsaken place called Chesterfield County, Virginia, they went ahead with this old bit. The shop with a cop gimmick. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that is a great event. I mean,
Says here.
I'm sure you've all seen those videos
Oh,
and how much it
sure.
means to the kids
Yes.
and,
Sure.
and the families.
Says here dozens of cops down there in Chesterfield County, Virginia. Dozens and dozens of them. They gathered at the local Walmart this past Sunday for the annual Shop with a Cop event. It's a holiday tradition, Josh. Law enforcement help the little kids in town pick out presents, and in the process, the idea is that the cops get to know some of the families in the neighborhood and vice versa, and everyone takes a break from fighting to the death out on the streets for an hour or two. Welp, the Shop with a Damn Cop event took a weird turn when the cops got a heads up. While they're wandering around Walmart with the little kids, the cops got a heads up on a shoplifting that was going on.
We had 30 to 40 marked patrol cars in the parking lot, and when we found his vehicle, it was actually facing where all of our cars were parked, so he would have had to have seen them. It just didn't matter to him. He was going to take the chance.
I think the thought process, if there is one for a gentleman like this, is, well, they're never going to suspect someone would be so dumb to shoplift when all those cops are there. Not to mention just the chaos of all those people in there and all the attentions on what's going on there.
I think you're giving the criminal too much credit.
I probably am.
That he would have that kind of reason and logic in his head. I think this was just a straight up crackhead. But yeah, if you're not a crackhead, if you're not drunk, sure, I can understand having that thought.
Every year this story comes out, right? This happens every single year.
They were wandering around the store, the cops were, with these little kids, and then a Walmart employee walked up and says, we got a shoplifting happening over in aisle 6, and sure as hell some buffoon was right there in the middle of all these cops stuffing merchandise down his pants and whatnot, and then trying to leave.
You love to see it.
He was apprehended. As a matter of fact, the cops had to lay him down with one of those tasers.
That's always fun to see.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the crack rocks theory. He was just gooned on street drugs, and he didn't care what the situation was.
You're probably right.
I know it's not entirely fair to judge a book by its by God cover, but after looking at our next main character's mugshot, I'm going to say he's another one of those types, like in the last story, where crack or meth rocks or too much hooch has made it so he just doesn't get it or just doesn't care. What I'm talking about here is a feller down south who apparently committed 2 felony thefts within 15 minutes at the same damn supermarket. 42 years old and still acting like this, too.
I mean, stick with what you know, right?
I suppose. He goes by the name of Andrew Sylvester. 2 felony thefts within 15 minutes. He's got that on his record now. Oh, get ready to giggle your ass off, Josh. It's your bro. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd.
He's the best.
He's involved in this. Do you have his quote there?
I don't have the audio of it.
Fair enough. Here's what Grady Judd said. He said, Sylvester, that's the crook, tried to steal not one but 2 carts full of groceries from the damn supermarket. And the name of the supermarket is Publix. Publix Supermarket. So Sheriff Grady Judd said Sylvester tried to steal not one but 2 carts full of groceries from Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. That must be their slogan. I don't know. That stunt, Grady said, landed him in the county jail, where arresting criminals is our pleasure.
I love him.
Isn't he cute? The story says here, when the cops arrived, they located this Andrew Sylvester outside the store with a shopping cart full of groceries that he had not paid for. A store employee said that Sylvester had pulled off a similar caper less than 15 minutes earlier, and then he tried to do it again. Now, here's the bad news for this Sylvester clown. It says here, retail theft down in that part of our once proud country. It's a far southeastern state. You know the one I'm thinking of, but I won't say out loud. Retail theft down there is highly criminalized. So stupid ass is in a lot of trouble. Your little pal Judski there, Josh, he's very familiar with Mr. Sylvester. Grady Judd said, if he's around, he's stealing something.
Yeah, Judd, he doesn't hold back.
Nope.
I mentioned this before, but Bloomington's police chief, Booker Hodges, he's the Judd of the North.
Yep.
That guy is absolutely hilarious.
Neither one of them are afraid to what?
Go there. It's refreshing.
Do they tell it like it is?
They do tell it like it is.
Or not afraid to go there. Now, here's a sumbitch in Japan. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, come on, man. Where in Japan? You can't just say in Japan. You got to give us more details. Okay, I can do that. The sumbitch comes from a place in Japan called Daizafu City, which is located in the Fukuoka Prefecture.
Oh.
Did I pronounce that right, Josh? Fukuoka? Is there another way to pronounce that?
Yeah, there's a particular vowel in there that you mispronounced.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a U. Go ahead, try it again. Pronounce the U differently. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at, we got commercials coming up. You better not.
We'll be right back. The cops in Fukuoka Prefecture have had to go ahead and arrest this effing guy. He's 37 years old. He was trespassing on somebody's property. He goes by the name of Yuta Sugawara. And he's an interesting guy. He really is. When he was pinched by the cops, he told them, my hobby is trespassing.
It's just what I like to do. Don't take that away from me.
My hobby is trespassing, he said. It's exciting and fun. Sugawara, motor mouth that he is, he kept rapping with the cops. He said that he's trespassed on private properties more than 1,000 times.
Holy cow.
And he said, the nervous excitement of wondering whether or not I'll be caught helps relieve my stress.
Really?
That's cute, but you can't just be sneaking around people's yards all damn day. You're going to get shot. You want to relieve stress? Go to a yoga class or something.
Whack it to your sister-in-law.
Well, that's his gimmick, and he just smooth told the police.
At least he's honest.
Trespassing is what I do for fun, and it helps relieve stress.
Maybe some therapy or something. Something else.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You guys, I mean, okay, they say drinking is bad for you. You know, drugs bad for you. Are there and a lot of people use those to relieve stress.
Sure.
Do you guys have any bad habits to relieve stress?
Smoking?
Other than
Oh,
those
yeah.
ones?
Yeah, you're right. I was kind of throwing all that in there.
Yeah. We understood when you said drinking and drugs. That's likely a blanket statement for nicotine, tobacco. Sure. Other than the
Maybe like
the
eating
likely
crappy
suspects.
food.
Yeah.
No.
This is obviously outside of the norm.
Yeah. I was going to say it's never anything that's crossed my mind, but I imagine I probably have gorged myself on what some people would perceive to be unhealthy food out of stress. I probably have done that. Maybe some people would say certain movies, watching them repeatedly could be a stress release because of the familiarity, and it brings you back to a simpler, better time, like an old movie from the...
I've done that, sure.
Sure, but other than that, it's a good question.
I guess something that's very unhealthy is probably like when I'm very stressed, I ignore everything. It's better to just...
You give up.
Yep.
You bury your head in the sand?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't think that's
just for like
bad.
a couple of days, or not
Maybe
a
I'm
couple of
wrong.
days, like a couple of hours a day. Just like, I need to ignore everything for a little bit.
I think that's the right thing to do. Because, sometimes people
nice.
just sit there and what they call doom scrolling, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Think
And they're
about it too
miserable
much.
and make themselves more miserable.
That's an interesting question because I'm sure there are some awful things that we've done to relieve stress. Well, maybe, cheating on your lady.
Sure. Fighting?
Fighting.
Spending too much money.
Yeah.
I know plenty of guys.
Oh, yeah, Dana.
That's a good one, Dana.
Yeah, shopping.
Spending too much money,
Retail
shopping.
therapy.
Especially this time of year. It's,
Yeah, you're stressed out and you're like, I deserve a treat.
That's a great example.
Yeah, that's a good
It's so
one.
nice. Too.
I
do deserve one.
I grew up with a couple of three guys where that's how they relieved their stress, was fighting at a beer party. And you could go, when we'd walk into the beer party, I could tell by the look on their face, they had a bad week at school or a bad week with their parents, and they're going to fight somebody tonight. You could tell going into it.
Or even if not necessarily physical violence, but taking out your anger on everyone around you. Everybody's got, I'm miserable, everyone's got to be miserable. More anxiety than hair, Jesus says eating spoonfuls of frosting.
Okay.
Yum.
Sounds tasty.
That's good.
I had a thought on stress relief, and I lost it. I was going in a certain direction. Maybe it'll come back. I dig this. This will be our final. A burglar in California got more than he bargained for on Thanksgiving. Okay, on Thanksgiving. A burglar in California, he went ahead and broke into a church with an axe. He did. But hilariously, the stupid prick didn't get much done because the pastor-type dude hanging out there at the church, he knows how to handle his business. The pastor heard some kind of alarm when Dinkus broke in with I almost said with the couch. That wouldn't make any sense. He heard the alarm, the pastor did, when Dinkus broke in with the axe in hand, and he immediately ran over to confront this intruder. And they started brawling. Pastor versus neighborhood scumbag with an axe. Normally, Josh, you'd likely give the edge to the guy with an axe.
I would say 9 times out of 10, yeah.
But the pastor...
Even with the power of prayer, I don't think the pastor is going to be able to take a guy with an axe in most situations.
Right. Even if he's, as I think you made this quote a week ago, even if he's bursting with Christ's love.
Yeah. It's tough to beat probably a drugged-out psychopath with an axe.
Right. But this wasn't your regular pastor. This pastor, just like my old high school pal Wang, has a background in kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and other mixed martial arts.
See,
that's badass.
This guy with the axe obviously doesn't pay attention. Everyone knows jiu-jitsu now. Everybody, since the MMA became popular, it seems like everybody has learned how to fight.
Even Wang.
Yeah, it's different than it was before, where most of us didn't know how to fight.
No.
But now everyone does.
The pastor goes by the name of Nick Neves, is my guess. He says he was able to grapple with the stupid guy for about 15 minutes until the authorities arrived. Despite his background in the art of killing folks dead, the pastor didn't mangle the stupid guy too badly. But when the cops showed up, it says here the intruder had an arm off. but he survived.
I shouted at him to stop and that the police were going to be on the way, and I grabbed a hold of him, and we ended up wrestling in the parking lot of the church. I've studied in some jiu-jitsu and some kickboxing and have a mixed martial arts background, and so it was very helpful to be able to grapple with this gentleman without having to do much harm to him. It was just ironic that if he would have just come a couple days earlier, he would have been able to be blessed and get some food, but he decided instead to smash windows and desecrate property and do something that's going to hurt the ministries.
You know, the Tool front man, Maynard James Keenan, he's known for knowing jiu-jitsu.
Is that right?
He's a black belt. He's releasing a new film about jiu-jitsu called The Great In-Between, an introduction to jiu-jitsu, which starts streaming on the 13th.
I cannot think of any program on planet Earth that I'm least interested in.
Oh, you're not going to watch that?
No, I will not be watching Maynard James Keenan from Tool teach me jiu-jitsu. How do you say it?
Jiu-jitsu.
I will not be watching that program.
He's very interested in jiu-jitsu, not so interested in morning show interviews we've heard before. He was not interested in talking to us whatsoever.
Oh, that's the worst feeling.
It was terrible. I always hated talking to the guy. You know who's not afraid of Maynard James Keenan's jiu-jitsu skills?
Is it Jiu-Jitsu Jesus?
No, Wang.
Oh, Wang could take
I
him?
told you, Wang. Pop!
I bet Jiu-Jitsu Jesus knows some jiu-jitsu.
I've seen Wang sit down. He sat her right on her ass. It was like a 70-year-old lady. Papa! And then he went back to being oddly quiet. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back on the program.
Did we finally get a first look at the Nintendo Switch 2? Possibly. Dana here with your video game update. Some footage of the upcoming but still very mysterious Nintendo Switch 2 leaked on the internet this week. Is it blurry? Very. Does it give away all that much information? Absolutely not. Could it be totally fake? Oh, 100%. But hey, it's something. The video is posted on a Chinese website called Bibli and is spread all over the internet. We see someone holding a new, bigger Switch Joy-Con that's attached to the Switch screen magnetically. It also has bigger shoulder buttons, a few additional buttons on the back, and what looks like cameras at the bottom. Of course, this is all still very speculative because of the always annoying secrecy Nintendo likes to live in, but it goes to show how desperate us Nintendo dorks are for any Switch 2 information. The only confirmed details we know right now is Nintendo says they will make an announcement sometime before April of 2025. That's still kind of a big window. They also confirmed it will be backward compatible with the OG Switch, so of course great news for all of us who built up a stack of cartridges so far. So it's not much, but it's something. The wait continues. Come on, Nintendo. You're killing me, Smalls.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
This is my Van Ginkel shirt. As you can see, it can be purchased at the team store. All proceeds go to flood relief in Iowa, so figured I'd show Ginkel a little love because he's been playing some good ball.
You got to get over this Van Ginkel thing, Josh. It's starting to disturb me a little bit.
No, I've also got a Flores thing, so it was a good combo.
That was Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, and he was wearing a Van Ginkel shirt at a press conference, and he said Van Ginkel, and you love Van Ginkel.
I do.
So you had to throw it into the mix because of your obsession with Van Ginkel. I never wanted the guy on the team in the first place.
You didn't even know about the guy.
I love him.
No.
Can't get enough.
I never even wanted him in town. Skoll jacks me up, Jesus. Just straightened me out via a text message. I was talking trash a few minutes ago, and I know, Josh, that's one of the rules you like to enforce around here. Josh has been saying for decades, don't be talking trash unless it's Saturday, because we get to drink on Saturday.
I also don't want people to be flatliners.
No.
Nobody likes a flatliner.
Dude, you've been saying it for years. I was talking trash. Josh brought up an interesting fact. Maynard, the lead singer, what's his last name?
James Keenan?
Maynard James Keenan, the lead singer from Tool, is releasing a jiu-jitsu...
Like basically a how-to.
Yeah.
Kind of a background on jiu-jitsu.
Okay. A jiu-jitsu tutorial. And I said out loud and into a microphone, I said, I can't think of any program on planet Earth that I'm least interested in. Well, this is where Skoll jacks me up, Jesus straightened me out. He informed me of another program that I would, and he's right, I would actually be less interested in than Maynard James Keenan's jiu-jitsu tutorial. Skoll jacks me up, Jesus said, coming to Netflix, a program called Aaron Rodgers Enigma.
Here come the Jets. Rodgers has something to prove. It is on.
Protection breaks down, goes Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has officially tore his Achilles.
It's catastrophic.
Is it time for him to retire?
Once I started my spiritual journey, everything shifted. I lived between two worlds of the extroverted and an introverted lover of silence.
You don't want to watch that?
God.
You will be enlightened.
Thank you, Skoll Jacks Me Up Jesus, for keeping me in check. I would choose Maynard's jiu-jitsu film over anything having to do with Karen Rodgers Enigma.
You know how Netflix will release stats and stuff? They'll say, hey, 40 million people have already streamed the new NBA Starting Five program. I hope they do that with this. Like, 7 people so far have watched Aaron Rodgers Enigma. 7.
Did you guys watch the trailer?
Oh,
of course not.
No.
Absolutely not.
I watched it this morning. I want hazard pay.
All right. What a hell
I
of
want
a...
Ashley's pay.
What a hell of a hockey game last night it was with the Pigs and the Canucks. And we're going to talk to Marcus Foligno all about it here in almost exactly an hour from now. We're going to get Marcus on the phone. He's probably going to be a little tired. We always appreciate him joining the show because it was a hell of a game. They ended up winning in overtime. I don't want to, if you didn't see it, I don't want to tell you anything about it because it was actually really, really thrilling how the game played out. Find out from Marcus in an hour. Lots going on tonight. Golden Gopher Dudes basketball starts their Big Ten schedule. She's going to be a late one for Wolves fans. Not only is Marcus joining us, but Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, and that'll happen in about a half hour. Josh's News is next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving money with Easy Pass. Free transponders plus lower tolls make Easy Pass the perfect holiday gift. Visit driveezmd.com to get yours today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with AutoQuote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
My car won't stop. My brakes aren't working. I'm 20 weeks pregnant. I cannot die today.
A Williamson County, Illinois sheriff's deputy is being praised after saving a 20-year-old pregnant woman from a terrifying ordeal when her car brakes failed, sending her speeding toward a freezing lake. The heart-pounding 7-minute incident began with a desperate 911 call early last Wednesday morning. Her car, traveling about 30 miles per hour, was hurtling down a dark rural road toward a dead end at the lake's edge.
I'm trying to hit the brake as hard as I can, and it won't stop.
Oh, my God.
Dispatchers quickly coordinated a response, guiding deputies to intercept the runaway vehicle. Deputy Tyler Coffey was the first to catch up. Her brake lights were on, but the car wasn't slowing down, explained Coffey, the potential disaster brewing just up ahead. Then he executed a rolling roadblock.
Moved to get in front of it and then conducted a rolling roadblock, which allowed him to get in front of the vehicle, gently apply the brakes, and slowly make contact with the front of the vehicle that was out of control.
I'm going to hit the cop! I'm going to hit him!
Thanks to Coffey's quick thinking, the woman, her dog, and the deputies escaped unharmed. The damage was only to a few minor scrapes on both vehicles.
Well, that's awful scary right there, Josh.
Yeah. I thought I was going to lose my wife once because I was on the phone with her. She was taking her dog to the vet, and on her way back, her brakes went out. It didn't work at all. Nothing.
Terrifying.
Couldn't get it anything to happen, so she just ended up putting it in neutral and kind of coasted to the side of the freeway. But that was it.
I had the brakes go out on me once, and it was really surprising. This was around, 1994. and I was driving a completely broken 1977 Gremlin. So it came out of nowhere that the brakes failed on me, Josh.
Nobody predicted such a thing.
It was very scary. I had to dash myself into a parking lot at a much higher rate of speed than anyone should enter a parking lot because my brakes had failed on the roadway. The greatest driver I've ever known, Josh, drove his broken vehicle with 0 brakes all the way back to Orono from Mankato State University.
Holy cow.
Just engine braking or something?
Downshifting, and he said there were a few stoplights around Jordan and whatnot where he had to open the door and drag his feet.
Man, that's
Impressive.
He had no other choice. He's got to get the hell out of Mankato State, come home for the summer. Made it all the way with no brakes.
A 22-year-old northern Minnesota man's been sentenced to a year in jail after admitting to, quote, jamming out a bit on his air guitar while driving high and hitting a man who had just left a store in Moose Lake. A test by the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension showed the man's blood alcohol content shortly after the crash was below Minnesota's legal limit. However, they did detect meth, cocaine, and THC.
Holy cow, that's a cocktail.
Law enforcement determined he veered onto the right shoulder while being distracted by playing air guitar.
Dude.
And struck a man walking home after leaving a nearby store.
Oh, man.
How'd that guy turn out?
Unfortunately, he didn't make it.
I was about to say I want to party with this guy, but not anymore.
Which guy? I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Now that he killed a guy,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit less impressed with him.
This wasn't the first time reckless driving landed him in trouble. Just 2 months earlier, he was cited for texting while speeding at 82 on 35W. He also has a history of dangerous behavior, including 95 in a 60 and crashing an unregistered, uninsured vehicle into a FedEx truck.
This guy really sucks.
A 22-year-old man who told police he, quote, hates driving because, quote, it's caused me is problems, has been charged in connection with a string of dangerous road rage incidents, including 2 shootings at other motorists and pointing a gun at a third. If only there was some way he could just not get behind the wheel.
Calm down.
On November 14th, a motorist driving on Snelling Avenue in St. Paul with 2 children in his car reported being aggressively tailgated by a black Nissan. Both cars eventually turned onto Selby Avenue, where the Nissan driver allegedly pulled alongside, rolled down his window, and opened fire.
God dang.
The victim followed the fleeing Nissan onto Ide Mill Road and called 911, providing the car's license plate number. When officers arrived, they found a bullet hole in the victim's car. Troopers were already familiar with the black Nissan. It had been involved in a crash on 94 October 17th. And the 22-year-old driver had a history of citations for reckless driving, including speeding, driving under suspension, and using a turn lane to pass. Investigators linked the man's phone to the area during both the November 14th shooting and an earlier drive-by involving a Jeep October 12th. The escalating pattern continued November 27th, when troopers were alerted to a gun-pointing incident involving that same vehicle. By the 28th, they tracked the car to St. Louis Park and arrested the driver. During the search of the Nissan, officers found that the suspect made no effort whatsoever to conceal evidence from his prior alleged crimes. They uncovered a Glock handgun beneath the passenger seat, a spent shell casing on the driver's side floor, 3 live rounds in the center console, and an additional live round on the rear floor.
But this is the kid who blames driving for all of his problems.
Yeah, see, he hates it, and driving has caused him nothing but
Gets him in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
He's not the problem.
No,
it's just driving.
It's the driving.
Right.
Not every hero wears a badge stitched onto a sash, but an 11-year-old Girl Scout in Virginia totally earned herself a pony for Christmas. After saving her dad's life with CPR, she learned just days before.
It's kind of hard to put into words because it was so scary. I think I was a little weaker because it's not the same doing it on a dummy because it's not your dad.
When her dad suffered a heart attack at home, the girl didn't hesitate. It had only been 11 days since she practiced CPR and Girl Scout training, but she jumped into action like a pro. Even their family dog, Maggie, joined the effort, pawing at Dad frantically, trying to wake him up.
Well, of course it was scary, and I started tearing up, and I was like, what do I do? Like, for a minute there, I was in complete shock. Maggie, my dog, was freaking out. She was trying to wake him up, like put her paw on there and like trying to wake him up.
Don't die before dinner time. Maggie was saying.
The girl called 911 and began chest compressions, guided step by step by paramedics that is on the phone. Thanks to her quick thinking and bravery, her dad is alive today. The girl's being praised by first responders and her mom, who credits her with saving Dad's life just in time for what better be her best Christmas ever.
Heck yeah, that's so true.
Ain't that the damn truth?
An injury a California art teacher sustained in her classroom led to her untimely death from rabies, of all things.
I'll be.
Leah Sennig, a 60-year-old teacher from Fresno County, discovered a bat in her classroom. This happened back in mid-October. She didn't think anything of helping it on its way, so she gently picked it up, but the bat suddenly stirred, swooped around the room, bit her, and escaped.
Yeah, that's what they do.
She didn't feel any symptoms for weeks before she ended up going to a medical center, and then her condition quickly worsened. About a month after being bit, her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where she passed away November 22nd.
God dang.
It was the first fatality from the saliva pest disease in her county in more than 30 years.
She was a lover of life. She spent a lot of time in the mountains where her mother lived, and she loved to explore the world.
Her friends say she had a dark sense of humor, and as tragic as her passing was, they believe she would have found a way to laugh about it. Rabies, though rare, is nearly always fatal without immediate medical attention. According to the CDC, the disease kills fewer than 10 people annually in the U.S., but its high mortality rate has prompted strict prevention measures. In fact, it's this severity which led to a recent controversy involving the beloved pet squirrel in upstate New York, Peanut. Peanut.
People are still talking about that squirrel?
Oh, yeah, he even got political. Peanut has lived peacefully as a pet for 7 years until a wildlife agent alleged the squirrel bit them. State officials seized the animal, testing it for rabies, a procedure that required it to be euthanized and decapitated.
Oh God.
Man. In the end, the squirrel did not test positive for rabies.
So only 10 people die a year from rabies. Growing up, I was led to believe it was a much bigger deal than that.
Yep, absolutely, Dana. I would have to agree with that.
It was like we were always afraid of rabies, and adults saying, stay away from that animal, you're going to get rabies.
No, we didn't get those lessons in my neighborhood. It was more about cooties.
Oh, yeah.
We thought we were all going to die young from cooties.
And it was, things have changed, but the only people that could give you cooties were girls back when we were growing up.
Boy, they were crawling with them, yeah.
With the holiday shopping and shipping season in full swing, the United States Postal Service is making an unusual request to help get packages delivered on time.
What do they want from us now?
Don't friggin' feed the friggin' turkeys. After the big weekend of online holiday sales,
I like how two friggins came into play there.
A wave of packages is expected across the country. To ensure every gift and parcel reaches its destination on schedule, USPS is urging residents in Northeast Minneapolis to resist feeding wild turkeys in the area.
Well, because then the turkeys hang out, they won't leave, and then they kick the driver's asses when they're trying to deliver packages? Is that what they're saying?
They made the unusual request after the feathered troublemakers have been acting aggressively toward mail carriers, creating delivery delays.
Hilarious.
Angry little turkeys.
A 10-year-old boy from China teamed up with an unusual assistant for the ultimate tooth extraction, his pet parrot. In a video going around now, the boy carefully holds his feathered friend in one hand, guiding the bird to his mouth. With precision that would make a dentist jealous, the parrot clamps onto the wobbly tooth and pulls it out in one quick motion. This video is on 93x.com. The boy, clearly impressed with his pet, hands the parrot to his mom while the feathered dental flygenist proudly shows off its prize, a freshly plucked baby tooth dangling from its beak.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I pulled out my stepdaughter's tooth with pliers, we're trying to get out.
Yeah.
And my wife berated me and thought, we tried the conventional just with the fingers, couldn't get it out. She berated me, and then the dentist said, that's exactly what I do to my kid at home.
Yeah.
So my wife can suck it.
And you're basically a dentist.
Essentially, at this point, yes. Just make far less money.
Again, I encourage you to, next time you see my brother, ask him what he does instead of going to the dentist. Ask him what he does when he has problems with his teeth. You'll be vomiting by the end of the conversation.
Is this something that's radio appropriate? Or?
Well, I've told you before, he's had a couple of teeth go bad on him, and he, if I remember the details right, instead of going to the dentist, because a dentist might cost more than $3,
Yeah.
and my brother is opposed to anything that costs more than $3. Instead of going to the dentist to have a bad tooth removed, if I remember right, he sharpened the one end of a Q-tip and pried it out of his skull all on his own. He said there was a key word when he told me about it. There was a key word.
Owie?
Pus was the key word.
Ah, yes.
I heard a lot about pus.
Sure. Yep.
Talk to him about his how he gets around.
Is that why he whistles when he talks now? A Florida woman effed herself into a felony charge following a saucy showdown at a Raising Cane's restaurant in Florida Friday. Investigators said 31-year-old Mackenzie Keeling was arrested after escalating a confrontation about missing condiments that took a contentious turn. She picked up her mobile order from Raising Cane's in Clearwater, only to realize later she was short 8 packs of the chain's signature cane sauce. She loves that stuff. She returned to the restaurant and spoke to a manager, who did give her the missing sauces. But when she demanded additional compensation for what she called wasting her time and gas, she became verbally and physically hostile. She punched the manager in the leg, which is kind of weird, and then attempted to yank away her lanyard, which had keys and an employee ID. The incident, captured on security footage, was corroborated by 2 employees. Raising Cane's, famous for its chicken fingers and its One Love slogan, charges on average 39 cents for an extra container of its dipping sauce.
Yeah, now she doesn't even get to eat it because she's got to go to jail.
Oh, going from about to eat Raising Cane's to going to jail, that sucks.
I would never start any type of confrontation if I had Raising Cane's at home.
I know.
Were you guys doing an ad?
Raising Cane's.
If you've never had it, you should check it out. It's fire.
It is fire. It
fire.
slaps. It Fs.
Mm-hmm. It goes hard.
Vanity and misplaced trust collided in a bizarre scam which left several dog owners duped. In Toronto, a 29-year-old man's been charged after allegedly posing as a surgeon and injecting women he met at a dog park with what they believed were legitimate cosmetic treatments.
What the hell? What is wrong with people?
Authorities say the man approached 4 women at a downtown dog park, striking up conversations and posing as a qualified medical professional. He then lured them to his home, offering procedures that included injections of Botox, salmon DNA, and Ozempic, a diabetes medication often used off-label for weight loss. Makeshift home clinic, that screams legit to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He must be handsome.
Oh, yeah, I'd
Has to
imagine
be.
so.
Because
Or very charming.
If I go to a dog park, Josh, I don't have high hopes, if I'm looking for such a thing, I don't have high hopes that I'm going to get a lady's phone number, let alone next thing you know, she's at my apartment allowing me to inject things under her skin. You see what I'm saying to you?
What do you even say? Hey, you know what? You could be pretty. You're on the kind of the border.
True.
There's some things I could do to really change that. How do you even bring that up?
That's a great question.
The women became suspicious of his behavior and later discovered he wasn't qualified or licensed to perform any medical procedures.
You don't say.
They reported him to police, who were still investigating what substances were actually injected. Oh, no, it wasn't that, was it?
That's where my brain went immediately.
Yep, mine
as
too.
soon as you started the story.
Let's
Darn
hope it wasn't that. Fortunately, none of the victims needed any medical attention from real professionals. Tonight on ABC, Celebrity Family Feud, Shaq versus Sherry Shepherd.
Well, I know who one of those people are.
Is Sherry Shepherd from like a talk show?
I don't know.
I recognize the name. Marissa Tomei, Aunt May, and Spider-Man still slinging it at 60. Jeff the Dude Bridges, 75. Tonka TIG Welding Jesus texted a shout-out to Northwoods Cop Jesus and Hot Cheeto Fingers Jesus and said, congrats for having sex and now expecting a baby boy in the spring. Happy 36 to Ross Daddy. Welcome to the Senior Citizens Club, Coleman. A very happy birthday to you from Kelly. Happy 18th to Logan from Dad Tire Slangin' Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
He's very hairy and has a great disposition. Like I said, he loves to hug and he loves to give kisses.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
So much fun. Gus was unbelievable. Krill stayed out there for 2 minutes. Brock had a 2-minute shift, too. Everyone played unbelievable. Kirill, top 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
There you go. We'll have to ask our guest here in a half hour, Marcus Foligno, about that comment made last night by Pigs defenseman Jake Middleton in describing the Russian kid's game-winning goal in overtime. He referred to it as top T-word 2x4, and I wish I could say the T-word, and I probably could, but I don't want anyone getting up my can about it. Top T-word 2x4. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, those hockey players have their own language.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that one before.
I hadn't either, Josh, but I think you and I figured it out off air. Top T-word must be a reference to top shelf because that's roughly the location where the Russian kid put the puck on that one-timer to win the game. 2x4, and we'll ask Marcus about this in a half hour. I'm going to go ahead and guess that might be a reference to how back in the day the boys used to play with wooden sticks.
Yeah, the lumber.
Lumber, right. That's my guess. But we'll find out. Or maybe Marcus doesn't want to tell us because we're not officially in the club. We're not professionals.
Right. You got to be in the club.
We're not cool enough.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a locker room thing.
Locker room thing. It's an industry thing. You wouldn't understand. Maybe that's what Marcus is going to tell us. Randy Shaver, live from Florida.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot this little bit of information. Soda Stick, you know, they put a lot of phrases and stuff on there. They're locally themed T-shirts. They already have this as a T-shirt, by the way, if you're interested in going to Soda Stick's website.
Of course. They're so quick with that.
It is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Is that right?
They're always on top of all
They
that
have such cool stuff.
I think they had Bring Your Ass merchandise 6 seconds after he said it.
Yeah, that was the last one I remember.
Brad Ryder, live from where? Minneapolis?
No, in my palatial work office here in Roseville.
Oh, Roseville.
He sounded so excited, too, when he
said it. All right, right from the get-go, let's have Randy bust a spring for us on the telephone. Former Vikings Jim Marshall and Chuck Foreman have been eliminated from consideration for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 20, then 25.
In favor of who?
You see, good question. This is all so confusing to me. I've mentioned before that the NFL Hall of Fame thing is...
Isn't this the veterans thing that we talked about before?
Committee.
Yeah.
Veterans Committee, Seniors Committee. Okay, here, I'll tell you what I know. Moving up a step closer to the Hall of Fame, a guy by the name of Ralph Hay. He owned the Canton Bulldogs in 1906 or something. He's a founding father of the NFL. Super Bowl winning coach Mike Holmgren.
No. No.
A linebacker, I think, from the 60s by the name of Maxie Baughan.
Yes, Maxie Baughan was a very good player.
Former NFL wide receiver Sterling Sharp.
No. Absolutely not.
And an offensive tackle who goes by Jim Tyrer. There's some verbiage in here about Ken Anderson, Lester Hayes, Bob Kuchenberg, Albert Lewis, Stanley Morgan, and Al Winstert. I don't...
None. No.
Well, I don't think any of those advanced, though, right?
Yeah, see, that's what I can never follow this stuff, Brad Ryder and Rain. It's so confusing as to...
How in the world?
What I can tell you for sure, is Marshall and Foreman have been eliminated.
It's so disappointing.
It is.
I mean, I feel so bad for both of them, but Jim in particular, only because, and we've talked about this multiple times, of just the Iron Man number of games that the man played that he never missed. The just the stature of who he is and how he played the game. He deserves it so much. It's just unbelievable to me that they continue to look past him, and I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
It's maybe easier to understand than you think, and sometimes, and I'm guilty of this all the time, I forget the obvious. This is about Super Bowls.
Yeah, but see, you can't make that argument though in reality, because Carl Eller got in, Bud got in, Fran Tarkenton got in. Ranieri got in. Mick Tingelhoff got in. You can't make that argument, Nick. That argument doesn't fly anymore. If some of those guys didn't get in, and that's your argument, I get it. But that argument doesn't work anymore because these guys got in, and they all deserve to get in. Jim was the leader of that group.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the process for the NFL Veterans Committee seems a little bit more stringent than some other sports because you have all these layers, and I'm just reading a story here now after you brought this up. So out of these 5 finalists, one of these 5 has to get 80% approval, or they don't get in. One gets in. Only one of the 5 will get in if you don't get 80%. So it can only take 3 of those 5. And if they don't get 80%, then the one who gets the most gets in. And it just seems like it's a lot. There's a lot of people left on the sidelines, no pun intended to Randy's point, a little bit like in baseball. It seems like they allow the Veterans Committee a little bit more leeway to get guys in who deserve to get in.
All right, Randy Shaver, I had forgotten about all those former Vikings who were in, so I guess I don't understand it either why Jim Marshall and Chuck Foreman wouldn't be in there.
That argument worked 20 years ago. It doesn't work now because those guys got in, and Alan Page, all those guys got in, and they all deserve to get in.
That sucks.
They all deserve to get in.
It sucks.
And Jim Marshall was the leader of that group, and he deserves to be in.
He was. He certainly was the leader. He was. So there you go. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that when you're on vacation.
Yeah, they went from 183 down to 5.
Sterling Sharp. Give me a friggin' break.
Yeah, I mean, really, come on. Some of that, what you just said to me, come on. I just don't get that.
Sterling Sharp was a terrific player, but for a very brief period of time.
That's correct. Jim Marshall played, 19 years? Never missed a game. Never missed a game.
No,
At one time, was the all-time leader in NFL in games consecutively played in the NFL.
There's got to be a spot for him on that fact alone. Jesus, Cal Ripken Jr. hasn't bought a meal in the state of Maryland since 1990 because he kept his ass on the ball field.
And I hate to say this, but the man is in his mid-80s and not in the greatest health.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Don't give it to him after he's gone. That would be so cruel.
Yeah, that would suck.
Don't do that. He deserves it now. Just makes me mad.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to go get good and drunk in Florida this afternoon. Start trouble with
do
somebody.
That anyway.
Start a bar fight.
Well, here's the deal. I don't need that kind of news to do that. So.
Get yourself in the stupid news tomorrow. Go do something crazy.
Yeah, well, I could do that.
Start a fight with somebody. You see anybody in a Packer jersey today, I hope you straighten that sumbitch out.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few Minnesotans running around down here. So
Are the beaches open again and everything open again after the hurricane?
Yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. The place where we are in Fort Myers Beach is open and everything looks pretty normal. But there are stretches where there's new construction and they're still tearing things down and whatever. So, it's not back to normal yet, but it's pretty close.
All right. Get the shirt off, lay out on the beach, and suck down a few of those Long Island iced teas. Just get dehydrated as all hell and really crabby.
Exactly.
And don't drink any water.
I'd end up a raisin out there, yes.
Don't drink any water. Ashley said no water.
No.
But that's called Tuesday afternoon at home. So, I mean,
that's retirement right there.
All right, what else is going on? Jordan Addison, the Vikings wide receiver, he's pled not guilty.
Not guilty to what?
To what?
What shred of proof do they have?
He's anticipating having something happen, so he's just pleading not guilty right away.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking this has to do with something in the future.
Right.
No, that would be strange if he was pleading not guilty to something unexpected in the future. He's pled not guilty to those 2 DUI charges that they dumped on him this past summer in Los Angeles.
Where he fell asleep?
Yeah. How do you plead?
You fall asleep you fall asleep in a Rolls Royce on the freeway. How's that his fault?
Right. How do you have the balls to plead not guilty to that?
I was going to say, how are you going to prove that?
I mean, that barely stands out.
Right.
Aren't these guys supposed to have really good lawyers or something?
Oh, that's the answer right there. They
that's
got
it.
good lawyers and a lot of money. That's how you plead guilty to something.
Right. Regular plebes like us, our lawyer would say, just take whatever they give you.
Like, you're in trouble anyway.
But his lawyer's going to say, don't worry about it.
I just laughed out loud when I heard that on the news last night.
That is
Jordan
ridiculous.
Addison has pled not guilty. I thought, who's got... How? How are you pleading not guilty?
There's probably literal camera footage.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's body cam footage.
Yeah.
He was sound asleep on the freeway.
Again, in a Rolls Royce.
Right.
Well, and didn't they test him after that? I mean,
well, they say
he blew a .08.
.08, which is that's a Dewey, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, at least it is in Minnesota.
At least it is in Minnesota.
Okay, well then, why? If he did all those things, if they tested him, and he blew a 0.8. How did you say he's not guilty?
I have no idea because he's got money and a hotshot lawyer.
They'll find a technicality. Right?
Yeah,
in the process or something.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
Like they didn't test him within X amount of minutes, or who knows.
Can you imagine at the balls, Josh, walking into court and saying, "No, I didn't do it."
That's not me.
The NFL went ahead and dumped a 3-game suspension on Houston Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, whoever he is. He's the guy who laid out Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence with a late hit this past weekend. Okay, fair enough. 3-game suspension.
Yes.
You know, I just thought of a reason why maybe they're pleading not guilty, and this happened actually when I was with another team in town and we had somebody in a little bit of trouble. If they plead not guilty now, they can maybe put off whatever trial or sentencing until after the season's over with.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing.
And then after the season's over with, you'll see a little blurb come out and say that they pled guilty, or they came to an agreement or something.
And also the NFL's waiting, right, to find out. So he's going to try.
So he can still play, right?
That makes sense.
We got some people in our listening audience who have been in similar trouble in the past, I think, because they all texted in and said, he's just dragging it out, bro.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing.
That's what he's
just
doing.
Dragging it out, and hopefully the dust will settle. Oh, listen to this text message from Uper Jesus. Okay, we're all a little butthurt that Chuck Foreman and Jim Marshall, living legends that they are, have been eliminated from consideration for this year's NFL Hall of Fame. But Sterling Sharp, former Packer wide receiver, tight end, whatever the hell it was he did for a living, he has moved on in the process. At least he's moved on. He's made the cut. This is a story from Uper Jesus, who said, my brother idolized Sterling Sharp growing up. He ended up meeting him a few years ago in a public setting. My brother just wanted to shake his hand and express how much of a fan he was. Sterling told my brother to get the F out of his face.
Oh, that's crappy.
It broke my brother's heart, said Uper Jesus.
Oh, that's too bad.
It broke his heart in two.
Like they say, never meet your heroes, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you don't want to meet your
If
heroes.
that's true, what a terrible thing.
Now, this here, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, got a couple texts on it yesterday, and I hadn't heard of it. Thank you to the listeners who woke me up to this, and I was able to research it last night. And in case you haven't heard about it, I get to be the one. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard lately as far as rule changes for Major League Baseball. And we've heard
God, I read this.
We've heard some doozies the last few years.
This is so stupid.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, I want it to happen.
Do you really?
The big leagues.
So freaking stupid.
They're considering what they're calling a, quote, golden at-bat rule. Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred Singensen, he says there's a buzz around this idea.
No, there's not.
A bad buzz?
The idea of a golden at-bat.
Oh, this is so bad.
This is Ashley. Ashley, because you're the one who's saying, oh, God.
I haven't heard about this. I'm just laughing at the reaction so far.
All right, Brad Ryder, I'm glad that I got to bust it loose on you. This is where a team could choose one at-bat every game to send its best hitter to the plate, even if it isn't that guy's turn to hit.
Okay, this is so stupid.
Get out there.
The golden at-bat rule.
This is never going to happen because it's so stupid, but that would be funny. That'd be fun to watch.
Well,
Are we playing?
I wouldn't say it's never going to happen.
Do they do this in like Savannah Banana games?
Don't know.
Yep.
Seems like something they would do.
I think Nick, you're missing one part of that, and I think the part is the team has to be behind in the game in order for them to use the at bat.
Okay, I didn't know that had been settled on.
I think that the discussion is if a team is behind, they can use the at bat at any point in the game, and they can designate a player to it. Like for example, they use the example of Aaron Judge. You can.
Is there any way we could use a different example?
I'm just saying that's the discussion of what it is so bad. God, I hope they don't do this.
So are we playing Major League Baseball or are we playing wiffle ball behind somebody's backyard?
It sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
Come on.
So say there's 2 outs in the 10th inning in the World Series. Your weak-hitting second baseman is due up to the plate. You're down a run. Well, you send his scrawny ass back to the dugout, and you send up your steroid tiger power hitter instead. He ropes one into the cheap seats, and everyone orgasms all over themselves.
Nah, that's not baseball.
You know what would be more fun if you could choose somebody from the other team to come up and hit.
Oh.
That would be more fun.
That is fun. Yeah, you get to pick.
Like the Twins are playing the Yankees, and they're down by 3 with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th, and say, no, we want Aaron Judge to come up and hit for us.
Well, that would make me.
I'm kidding, by the way. I don't want that.
Anything's possible,
fun,
Brad
though.
Ryder.
Or if the other team gets to pick who your golden bat hitter is.
Right.
They pick the worst. That's so sad.
They pick your 73-year-old third base coach. Yeah, he comes up. All right, so that's the latest silliness. And all kinds of questions are being asked, of course.
Well, yeah, because if the guy gets on base, and let's say he's the next batter up or whatever, they got to figure out who the runner's going to be.
What do we use, a ghost runner?
Exactly. It's really stupid.
Yeah,
and
it's too much.
I don't know why they keep reaching. They made the change with the pitching clock, which I think was a great change.
Sure.
It made baseball faster, more efficient. The robot umpire is coming. That also is controversial, but we get it. They've tested it. It seems to work for the most part.
Yeah.
So they've made some nice changes for the game, for the speed of the game, because that was really the concern, was people didn't want to sit there for 4 hours. Well, you solved those issues, which I think are good ones. But don't mess with what the game is, because the game is great.
Yes.
And it just seems like they can't help themselves.
They can't leave it alone.
They can't leave it alone.
These new rules have helped increase attendance a little bit, but you know what? It did not help increase is TV ratings, and that's why they keep throwing this stuff out there.
Yeah, but that's not going to affect.
No,
TV
I understand.
ratings.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying that's why they continue to tinker with this and mess with this, because they're not getting the TV revenue that they want to get.
Major League Sports is like television news when it comes to TV. It's not. You can't do something crazy to get people to watch. There's too many options out there for people to watch. If they don't want to watch, no matter what you do, that's not going to change their viewing habits. It's just not.
No, I agree with you, but that's why they're trying.
No, we understand. Yeah, we understand. It's a made-for-TV moment that might drag a few hip teenage kids into the mix, and then, my God, we have some more money in the bank at Major League Baseball. A listener wants to know, Josh, what if the golden at-bat rule meant, golden, of course, keep that in mind, meant you hand the bat to the oldest person in the dugout?
I was just going to, that's not rocket Jesus. I was just going to bring that up, that's what she thinks it should be. That's what the golden should be.
When you mentioned it, because I haven't heard about this at all, so I figured it was going to be outrageous. I thought it was going to be something like that. Something where it had to do with the old
Brad
person.
Ryder, did you work with that tiny little guy in the Twins, for the Twins organization with the mustache? He looked.
Oh, yeah.
What was...
Wayne Hadaway.
Wayne Hadaway. Is he still with us?
Big Un, we called him.
Yeah.
No, he's gone.
No. Yeah, he's gone now.
He's gone. He was so much fun to see wandering around the Twins dugout. He looked exactly like a friend of mine's dad. He looked like the character on the Pringles can.
Yeah.
Wayne Hadaway.
You know what would be even, this is a more serious idea. You know what would be even better instead of the golden at-bat? Choose an at-bat late in the game like that or whenever, a key moment of the game where you have basically a one-pitch at-bat. Either it's a ball and the guy gets first base, or it's a strike and they get a swing and whatever.
Oh, that could be fun.
Stop it, Brad.
2 pumps and a squeeze, Jesus brings up a good point. He said it no longer gives the chance for an underrated guy to be a hero.
Right.
That's right. I mean, you take away some of the romance of baseball. When you take those kind of things away, you're exactly right. You take away those moments.
It takes a lot away from the game. Yep. A lot of different things.
It's just for no reason other than it just
television.
The game doesn't need that. The game is great. Leave the game alone. If you want to speed it up, I get it, but leave the game itself alone.
Oh, we're going to pitch around this guy. Oh, now we got Judge up. Dang it.
PBR.
Yeah. What would stop a team from pitching around the guy, even if you
intentionally walk him?
Yeah, exactly.
She's going to be a late one tonight for Wolves fans. 9:30 tonight. They tip off with the Los Angeles Clippers, who feature the least enjoyable. In my opinion, the least enjoyable player to watch in the entire league, and that player goes by the name of James Harden. Even less enjoyable to watch than Joel Embiid. Golden Gopher basketball.
Well, Joel Embiid's not playing, so you can...
Yes, but he will again someday. Golden Gopher basketball dudes, they start their Big Ten schedule of games tonight
Michigan State.
at Michigan State. The game is scheduled.
That's a late game too, right?
No, 7:30s.
Okay, 7:30.
It'll be televised on the Big Ten channel. They're likely going to struggle some. But then again, that's what we said last year.
Know.
They had a pretty good freaking year. Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. I always
never know.
What else is going on before Marcus gets on the telephone? That college basketball gal from Hopkins, Paige Beckers, she's going to become the first college athlete of the name, image, and likeness era to design her own shoe.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Nice. Good for her.
Nike. Or is it Nike?
Nike.
Nick. It's Nick.
It's Nick. Nick, it's Nicky.
Hey, Nicky. Sorry about your bubby. That's a industry story from years ago. She's got her own tennis shoe called the Nike GT Hustle 3. And it's got some Minnesota vibe to it. The area code of Hopkins, Minnesota will be on the tennis shoe. I don't know. If I were her, I'd want to separate myself from Hopkins right away.
She stays healthy. She stays healthy. She'll be the number one pick in the WNBA draft.
Do you guys remember those old school cups that were blue and then they had the purple line through it? That's kind of what these shoes remind me of.
Cups? What do you mean, like a drinking cup?
Like it was a drinking cup, and it was I can't remember if it was like a Dixie cup or what, but that's what these shoes remind me of.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
And you know who has the number one overall pick?
I have no idea.
The Los Angeles Sparks. So she's going to end up in L.A.
All right.
Probably.
Well, that's good fit.
She's coming off her best season ever. Lost to Caitlin Clark's ball club, the Iowegian Hawkeyes, in the 20+24 Final Four. But we all know who the better player is.
Stop,
Angel Reese.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. Did I hit everything? I was hoping to time this out for when Marcus would join.
I think so.
I was hoping to time this out properly for when Marcus gave us a phone call. I suppose I can go back to some football stuff while we're waiting. No football fan in their right mind gives two pumps about the Pro Bowl anymore, but the players do because it means money and maybe a free trip and a free meal or two. It says here 4 Vikings lead their positions in Pro Bowl games voting. Pro Bowl games. What do they do now? I haven't watched it in years. They play beach volleyball. They bowl. What do they do again at the Pro Bowl?
They play flag football game at the end.
Basically.
Oh, they don't play any beach
I mean, I think it's basically just a PR appearance.
Those 4 players are Justin Jefferson, Andrew DePaula, help me, I had it, Byron Murphy, and, for Christ's sake, Andrew Van Ginkel.
What do you have against Van Ginkel? He's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Just accept
I
it.
can't round any corner in town without some guy like Josh talking about Andrew Van Ginkel.
He deserves it.
I think you're just jealous that Josh is so into him.
Oh, you nailed it.
Hey, I'm not
actually.
alone. That guy, he's sweeping the nation.
Marcus Foligno is on the telephone. Hello, Marcus. Hello, Mr. Foligno.
How we doing?
Hey.
We're doing all right. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
I'll tell you what. I got to go ahead and say it. That was one hell of a way to end a hockey game last night.
Yeah, I was excited.
My damn.
Couple of thrillers, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 in the homestand. So it was a good, nice to go be on the winning side of those games.
Yeah, well, take it easy on some of the folks here in town with these overtime games, will you? For Christ's sake.
I know. We gotta make sure first period was a little sleepy, so we had to add extra time.
If anyone missed it, the boys beat the Vancouver Canucks last night in overtime on a beautiful one-timer by the Russian kid. He more or less scored the goal right at the ass end of overtime, right after a Canuck player had rung the pipe at the other end of the ice.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
It's like
I think they're on a
stuff.
2-minute shift too long, but they scored, so it's all good now.
And, I saw some people talking about how Kaprizov probably should have been in the penalty box at the time because he got away with an obvious tripping penalty right before. The refs went old school and gutted their whistles for everybody. Is that the way you want to see it when you're playing overtime hockey, Marcus?
Yeah, I do. I think penalties kill the game. The flow of the game is. Last night was a good game. It was physical, nasty, a little bit. It had some playoff hockey to it. So it's what's going to happen in the playoffs. So it's nice for our team to kind of get that taste and have to push through some things. And top players gotta get through checks and stuff like that. So it was a good game. It was just great to see our team kind of come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, a hell of a way to end a hockey game. She goes into the record books as a 3-2 win. Your goaltender there, Philip Gustafson, 30 saves. You boys still apparently can say that you have the best record in the Federal League.
Yeah, obviously we're happy where we're at. We got a long way to go still, but it's definitely an accomplishment to be at the top of a league that's so good and so many great teams. So proud of the guys right now so far.
All right, we got to ask you now, Marcus. We got to ask you about some hockey jargon. You boys, you have your own language. A lot of it we don't understand. We mere mortals don't understand some of when you guys are chirping back and forth. So after the game last night, they put a mic in the face of your defenseman, Jake Middleton. And he came off with the mouth cute. Can we play it for Marcus? You see what he...
So much fun. Gus was unbelievable. Kirill stayed out there for 2 minutes. Brock had a 2-minute shift, too. Everyone played unbelievable. Kirill, top 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
All right. So what Jake said there, we had to bleep it out. Top T-word 2x4 is how he explained Kaprizov's game-winning goal. Can you explain to us? We're not hip to all of your language. What does he mean when he says top T-word 2x4?
Just means you go top shelf, right in the corner there. So, but first of all, I don't know. Someone's got to bring back Jake Middleton a little bit. That guy was buzzing after that interview. His eyes were all over the place. I don't know what was going on. He must have had an adrenaline after Krill's overtime win. But
he looked like a crazy person when he was conducting.
I texted him after. I'm like, what's going on? You're scanning the ice surface. You're looking up in the crowd. I'm like, Kevin Gorg's right beside you. I started dying laughing, but I guess he's just so amped up that he's got no missing teeth. So it looks like it's just a big kid out there. It's pretty comical, but yeah, that's what he was referring to, going top shelf and 2x4.
Yeah, where does the 2x4 come from? My guess earlier was 2x4 might have been a reference to how you boys used to use wooden sticks. Am I anywhere in the right neighborhood?
I don't know if he. Jake did a lot of construction before making it into the NHL, so I don't know if he understands the dimension of a goal crease is 4x6. So I don't know if he just got screwed up with the math. 2x4. I don't know. Maybe that's what he was referring to, the stick that he uses, because it's pretty much a wooden stick is what he can get away with these days he plays. But 2x4 was an interesting comment.
Okay. So that's one that you're not wildly familiar with.
Yeah, we all know that the net's a 4x6, so I don't know. He's mathematically challenged. Put it that way.
They're already making T-shirts, Marcus, with that phrase on it. You can buy, and a couple listeners already bought it.
Anything you say now, it goes into a T-shirt in Minnesota. I love it, so it's great. I think it's probably going to sell out real quick.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Cause
you put Jake's mustache on that 2x4, and you're good.
I was watching last night. Somebody wanted a piece of him right after he scored his goal too. I mean, literally right afterwards. I don't know what he said or what he did.
Yeah, that day, I guess we were a couple guys trying to fight him, and he wouldn't fight. He was a big guy. So Jake skated by their bench when he scored, and he said, "Should have fought me." It was good. I got the guys amped up. It was a fun game. It was good. Everyone was excited, emotionally involved. Those are the best games to be in.
Well, regarding fights, unfortunately, you've been disqualified and you were no longer eligible for the Lady Bing, we've been told, after your recent fight.
That's right. I was on my way there. First rugged forward to win the Lady Bing, and then it all disappeared in one game.
Collapsed.
You were a friggin' shoe-in, but you lost.
Yeah.
I
said, get me out of this nomination ASAP. So I just took 7 minutes of penalties in one game. We're good now. We're safe.
Yeah, you don't have any interest in that kind of a thing, though. If you don't mind going back to hockey player lingo, I mean, I think we know a little bit of it. Of course, we used to have Zach Parisi on the phone for years. I think we know a little bit of it. But do you want to, Marcus, if you don't mind, throw a few hockey terms at us that maybe you think we wouldn't know? Could you quiz us real quick? Maybe there's a few that you think, that's probably not one that they know out on the street. Can you think of a couple?
We refer to, if you're talking about guys' hair, we talk about lettuce.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That one.
Lettuce is one.
I've heard that one. Yeah, I've heard lettuce.
We have heard lettuce, and that is a reference to a guy's hairdo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of equipment and stuff like that, but you guys heard of sauce?
Sure. I believe that sauce.
Elevate the puck. Yeah. We make it pretty extra saucy. Some guys can make it pretty saucy.
It's like a perfectly flat. Lofting a pass to a teammate where that puck just lands perfectly flat, so you can rip it into the net. Sure. Sauce.
You heard the expression of wheel?
Yeah. Now that means skate your ass off. Wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's wheeling. Wheeling, dishing. Dishing means you're passing.
Okay.
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff.
Josh is writing this down. He's going to go to
more
Evelyn
coaches' terms on forechecking and stuff. On our team, we call the forecheck hunting and gathering.
Okay.
So we need some hunters and gatherers to collect the puck.
I dig that.
Go barbaric a little bit.
That's your job. Dig it out of the corners and.
Yeah. Dean Evison would when he was here, he would. Call pretty much the third and fourth liners, and then the last two defensemen diggers.
Wait a minute, Marcus. We're not on satellite radio here.
Oh, sorry. Poop diggers. We're just guys that got shovels in our hands and are just ready to move crap wherever it needs to be.
So
make it look good.
We had to hit the bad word button. So if you missed it, if it's okay, Marcus, you don't do this for a living, and every morning you should wake up and thank God that you don't.
There should be no one under the age of 18 listening to this.
No. Marcus said his old coach, Dean Evison, the spray tan man, would refer to third and fourth liners as poop diggers. Let's get those poop diggers out there to do their job.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Back when I used to hang around college hockey players, they used to talk about guys having really good lip sweaters.
What is a
lip sweaters. Yeah, that's a good one.
You guys know what that is?
Oh, a mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard that. That's great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like another one is like sick mitts.
All right, tell us about sick mitts.
Sick mitts, just like it's guys got really nice hands, good dangles, gets good with the puck, and can massage the puck out there. So he's got nasty mitts.
I love it. I love it, and we love to learn new things around here.
There's probably more with the young guys. There's probably more that they have.
Two derogatory terms that I learned from an NHLer. He's a former NHLer now, and I didn't meet the guy in person. I just saw an interview with him once, quite a few years ago. Kevin Bieksa. Are you? Oh yeah. You know who that is, obviously.
Yep.
He played for the Vancouver Canucks as a defenseman for many years, and I believe what I was watching was Bieksa's out on the ice, and they got him mic'd up. And it was the first time I ever heard one man call another man a plug. And I really liked that.
Plug.
I like that. He was going after some member of the opposite club, and he called the guy a plug, which I thought was just so simple and beautiful. And he also referred to little instigators out there who run their mouths a lot, like that Brad Marchand of the Boston Bruins. He referred to that individual as a Muppet.
Oh, a Muppet.
Yes.
He usually gets the word rat thrown around at him a lot.
Rat. Yeah.
Rat, but Muppet's good too.
Yeah. Those are the first times I had heard those terms used in that fashion. So I love the language that you guys use out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not that you want more mics on the bench and stuff like that, but the stuff that people say, it's pretty. Some of it's comical. Like it's actually guys come up with some pretty good one-liners that just make you chuckle, and it's not even like, not even full of swear words or any of that. Some guys just go straight comical and make the guy think twice about what the guy actually said to him. So those are pretty good ones when you hear it on your bench.
I see you smiling out there now and again, and I imagine that's probably what brought it on is some of the jaw jacking out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it
gets the guys fired up. It gets everyone going.
Would you do us a favor and grow us a lip sweater?
I could grow you guys a lip sweater. I haven't done it in a while until November because Jake Middleton kind of takes it over. But
yeah,
I look old school with it.
I'm sure.
Look like I played back in the 80s, 70s.
I mean, I suppose you got to clear it with the wife, but if you grew us a lip sweater, then every time we watch you on television or down there at the X, we'd know that you were thinking about us.
That would be very meaningful.
I'm always thinking about you guys and how we can't say poop on this radio.
Well, you can say poop. You can't say
we can say poop.
The grown-up version of poop. You can't say that on the... Josh was telling me a few days ago you had something cut loose at your house on Thanksgiving. Camera crews or something, wasn't that?
Oh, well, no, I was before the game on Monday. We went to get some food. We watched last Monday. We went to your game, and they had like a documentary. I don't. Maybe documentary is not the right word. But kind of maybe like a half-hour special showing you and your family.
Oh yeah, with the Becoming Wild.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Oh, you were watching
it?
Okay.
Yeah,
our TV crew does an awesome job, and they go around and kind of just get like features on guys, especially throughout the summertime, just to kind of give you a background of what we do, while we're not playing. And we had the TV crew come up to Sudbury, Ontario, that's where we are in the summertime. So, yeah, it's about a 20-some minute feature, and it's good. It kind of just shows you what life's like for myself and my family in the summertime, and it was fun. We had fun with it. The guys did a great job with the TV crew.
They didn't have the sound on, but it looked like you guys were having fun on the boat and jumping into the water.
Yeah. We kind of showed them the lake life and jumping off the dock, the boat, and it was fun. We had like a little convenience store that we own just before the lake starts, and it's been like a staple there, the lake that we grew up on. So we bought it we took it over with some other families in the area, and you can kind of boat to it. So we did that with the crew, and it's just like a typical, ice cream and little snacks with the kids and pop and all that stuff, just to get the sugar high going for the kids on the boat. So a good little spot, and I got to show a little bit of where I'm from. So it's a cool feature. And like I said, they did a really good job on it.
Well, then where did I hear this? Is this just the liquor talking? I thought somebody said this Thanksgiving a camera crew busted into your house.
Yeah, you're right too. We had
your brother.
I think Michael Russo reported that. My brother is doing they have the Winter Classic this year in Chicago against St. Louis. So they had their whole, like, you know, when they did that HBO 24/7 back in the day, the Winter Classic, the road to the Winter Classic, they would show kind of the lead up of the two teams before the big game on January 1st.
Okay.
So Nick shows up around 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day because he was a little bit later because they got to hang out at their house for a little bit just to spend some time with their family on Thanksgiving. And he rolls in and he's got 4 cameras in his face coming up my front door. So we had about cameras here for about 45 minutes, and it was good. It's just all about they wanted to show kind of a little background on what, you know, family and Nick and I versus each other, that Chicago Blackhawks game.
All right. Man, the Folignos are going to become the Kardashians here pretty soon.
You got the movie star look. See, you're going to be
just less Botox.
As of now, as of today.
As of now, you never know. Tom Brady's getting it. I'm getting it.
Totally is.
And then a listener has texted in saying something or another. My God, you are just the biggest deal in this town. A listener said there's a Marcus Foligno song that plays at home games.
Yeah, it's that you ever heard the Hot to Go song?
No.
It's like H-O-T-T-O. It's the weirdest, like H-O-T-T-O-G-O or something like that, Hot to Go.
Okay, this is...
And they turn it into F-O-L-I-G-N-O. And now my girls are singing it every day, and we got they made like a little clip. It's good. It's catchy. I think it's just something that's going on with the young crowd these days. So all the kids in the crowd start singing along.
They play that Hot to Go thing on some commercials.
I've never heard Chappelle Rowan. I just heard about her. My daughter loves her. How did they associate?
So it's like a highlight reel of me like hitting guys and fighting, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, you're doing your thing out on the ice, and they got this cool song playing in the background. Okay.
Oh, so instead of spelling "hot to go" or whatever it was, they spell your name. That's cute.
It's adorable.
Like that.
Yeah. Who sings it?
I don't know.
Chappelle Rowan, I think, is how you pronounce the last. I just heard about her not too long ago, actually.
It's catching. It's yep. I guess I was the only last name that could go with those lyrics.
Well, you know, soon enough you're going to have an opposite player walk up and mock you with that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's coming.
Yeah. Will you control yourself, or are you going to punch him in the mouth for that?
Well, I have to punch him in the mouth for that. Hey, all the kids in this arena like this song. Respect it.
Respect the kids.
Yeah.
Drag the kids into the mix. A lot of folks talking about this new defenseman you got joining the club, David Jiricek. He said he knows 2 things about the state of Minnesota since he showed up here a couple days ago. He said he heard it's a hockey state. All right, well, first things first, it's the state of hockey. We got to be clear on that from the get-go, or there's no point in going any further with this kid.
That might be his language barrier.
Yeah. And the second thing he says he knows is it's freaking cold out here.
I'm excited, right? So I heard that's hockey state, so that's the first thing I know, and the second thing is that's freaking cold out here, right? So those 2 things, but yeah, I'm excited to be out right now.
There you go.
You know what? He seems like a really great kid, and he's obviously a highly, highly draft pick, and I think just it hasn't really gotten like the best chance in Columbus, so. You know, some guys need a fresh, fresh page, a clean slate, and a little bit of a reset. So we're hoping that he finds it here. And he's so far meeting him. He seems, energetic and all the things you'd want, like a young guy coming in and excited to be here. So what we've seen, what we know, he's a really good player. And he can develop into being a top defenseman. I mean, that's what's going to be great for us. So
there you go.
See if he gets in some action here soon.
He says it's freaking cold out here. Well, I mean, you've been everywhere, Marcus. You tell us. Are we colder than Calgary? Let's take a average February day. We're not colder than Calgary.
Well, we were just in Calgary, and it was freezing, like wind, and they just had a bunch of snow, too. So when back home, we had nothing on the ground. And I don't know. I think we'll see about this winter. But Minnesota's always got like that 2-3 weeks of just, freezing and other than that, it's not that bad.
Colder than Edmonton?
No.
Right.
Edmonton is just cold. That's just, that's a tough place. Yep.
Yeah.
I understand.
Like Siberia.
Yeah, it's like North Dakota. There aren't many trees blocking the wind up. You just get your ass kicked.
No, exactly.
Fair enough.
Wind chill's coming.
Hey, man, great game last night, Marcus. And as always, thanks for joining us here on the program. We look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely, guys. Have a great day. Thanks.
You bet. Thanks, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Yep. You bet. See you tomorrow.
Talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll take a break here and come back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Thanks for listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. It's a Wednesday morning. And the wind is picking up. And it's going to get cold. You know who I really feel for when the weather gets like this, Josh?
Who dat?
Your mom.
Why my mom?
She's out there on that sidewalk all alone.
Not you too. Shoveling, you mean?
Because she's a prostitute.
She's not a prostitute.
Oh, man.
Although if she were, she would make a lot of money. She would be very wealthy.
She would, Josh.
Very popular, very in demand. And she wouldn't get up and leave after you wrote her a check. She only takes checks. She doesn't like cash.
Old school.
The way
Doesn't have a credit card.
The way you just looked at me when you said, and you know what? If she was, she would be a good one. That was, you should have gone to Hollywood. You should have gone to friggin' Hollywood. You could have been in a couple of those motion pictures, I believe.
I hide pain with humor.
We all do. Work, huh? This is what we do right here. This is work for us. What a way to make a living, huh, Josh?
It's weird.
Do you have any regrets?
You mean about work itself?
Yeah. I mean, choosing this as your career. You have any regrets along the way?
I feel pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some. I know there's things that I've volunteered before that all of a sudden I became that guy for that task that I wish maybe I didn't volunteer for.
Sure. I think I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah, so there's times like that where I'm like,
Can I bring it up?
I didn't want to be that guy.
Can I bring it up, what I think you're referring to?
Yeah, sure.
Well, it was unintentional, I think. Many years ago, you established yourself here in the building as the guy who will make a client's commercial the finest thing they've ever heard. And then after a while, everyone expected it. And after a while, that becomes a lot of friggin' work. Is that what you were referring to?
I wasn't referring to that specifically. But
you know what I mean? Because I've always sucked at commercials on purpose.
Well, you don't suck at them.
No, you don't.
But you demand like certain conditions. Like
there are conditions.
The condition is I will put in zero effort. You write it for me.
What were you referring to then? That you've become a certain guy?
It's some off-air type of thing.
Okay, just don't worry about it. I didn't mean to put you in a corner.
At radio stations, I've always intentionally forgotten to sign the release form that says I'm allowed to drive the station vehicle. Oh, shoot, I forgot to sign it this year again. I can't drive it, sorry. Because I never want to be the one that has to drive the van.
Yeah, that's smart.
You can't do that here.
Yeah, not here.
I know, yeah. I was
You
thinking
have
in the
to
past.
sign it.
Yeah, you
Even-
have to sign it here.
I don't think I have been behind the wheel of a station vehicle since maybe
Late
1999.
90s. Yeah, late 90s was the last time they let me. This is what we do.
But
This
I
is
sign
how we.
that every year. Every year you got to sign
They
that.
say you have to, even if you drive your personal car.
Yeah.
All right. Work. Let's talk a little bit about work. 13% of people say, now hang on to something because this is just so ridiculous, in my opinion. 13% of people say being handed a trophy would make them feel more appreciated at work.
Do not give me a trophy. That'd be crazy.
I'm actually
What are you going to do with
surprised.
that? Where are you going to put? You're just going to put that on a shelf somewhere, and then there you go.
There must
What
be
is that?
something to that, and I'm surprised it's that, like reading this study.
A trophy?
I thought it would be higher.
Are we at Dunder Mifflin?
Are we playing
A Dundee.
little? Are we playing little league baseball? You thought it would be more?
Yeah, 'cause it's funny. I was just before I even read this, I was talking to a buddy about this yesterday. His work did something similar that ours used to do, where it'd be like, "Hey, listen, we're giving you a promotion. We're going to give you a title and a business card." We talked about this before, and for some people, that's all they needed.
True.
I mean, or
to be a somebody in the building. Yeah.
You got a title now. Now you're not just this, you're the executive this or that or the vice of this. And then here you go, here's your own office.
True.
You want a parking spot? Here's a parking
For
spot.
some people, that it empowers them enough to where
That's what they need.
they can, then they can say that new title out loud when they meet people. Hi, I'm Donnie. I'm head of operations, as opposed to a couple hours ago, I was just Donnie.
Yeah, so
You know?
my friend was telling me he was in the banking industry and he got several promotions, none of which, of course, gave him any more money, but it says, well, hey, you've got this title, so in the future, you can go further and
You can
further.
earn
and further.
more money with that title.
Yeah, it's like a belt in jiu-jitsu or something, right? You got to earn the next one and the next one. So at least there you're developing skills and you're a badass.
What I have here is another report, another study was turned loose on American citizens. What would it take for them to feel more appreciated at work? One of the common complaints is that you don't feel appreciated. Okay. I don't know. I come from this background. I say just come to work, do your job, and that's it. If you need constant thank yous and compliments and a trophy to keep you going, that's your problem.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of is, and the only thing I can think of is it would be really cool to have some granola bars in the vending machine.
Just a snack?
That's about
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like free pop. That'll never happen.
That'd be sweet. I'd
that'd
save
be
so
cool.
much money.
If we had our own little pop dispenser, I might start drinking pop if that's the case, though.
I worked at a radio station that had a cereal bar. It was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life.
Why would you mess that up, Dan?
The station no longer, yeah, the station no longer exists.
Oh,
actually.
darn. That
Cereal
sucks,
budget
man.
was too massive.
Yeah, honestly, they did start scaling it back because they would weekly just get. I think people just ate all 3 of their meals there. They just ate like 9 bowls of cereal and didn't buy groceries for themselves.
They stopped getting name brands.
How many Frosted Flakes is this Fruit Loop going to eat?
If you need constant compliments and all that, I don't know. Like a friend of mine says, what do you want, a cookie? Here are what
I think
people...
today is National Cookie Day.
Oh, God.
You like cookies?
I love
I
cookies.
should have brought some in.
Yes, you should have. You know what I do when it comes to sweets, right?
Oh, I know exactly what you do.
Chomp it up. Okay. People were asked what it would take for them to feel more appreciated at work. All right. Personal thank yous from their direct boss.
I mean,
If I could just get a personal thank you.
that seems a little douchey, but if your boss is telling you you're on the right track, that might be kind of nice to hear.
It's nice. Sometimes it makes me uncomfortable, though.
You hear that?
Yeah, well, I was going to say,
like
what?
from our boss?
He's given me compliments before, yeah.
He calls me every night at the same time and thanks me.
At the same time.
Sometimes he sings it to me.
Wow.
Yeah. people would feel more appreciated at work if they were able to easily communicate with their coworkers and boss. Well, what's getting in the way of that? Christ, with the electronic mails going, it seems like we're always in communication with those bastards. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And I cut bad ads, just in case the sales department's listening.
Not bad
Josh
ads.
cuts great ads.
No, he
I
doesn't.
cut bad ads.
No, you don't.
People would feel more appreciated at work if their co-workers told them they were appreciated. Hey, Ashley.
Don't.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ashley.
For everything that you do.
You're so welcome.
Of course, getting paid a few more bucks will make you feel more appreciated. See,
Wouldn't that be the number one
That's
for
a given.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It
I
fell.
know, that's what's shocking.
It fell somewheres in the middle. It fell somewheres in the middle. Just a few more.
You would
How about-
assume that's all. Okay, I get it. If they give me more money, that must mean I'm appreciated. I don't necessarily need a thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I feel.
And you're supposed to go to work.
You're supposed to
You
go to
don't really
work.
have to thank me for showing up.
Your thanks is the friggin' check that they hand you.
And I'm supposed to do the job.
Yeah. You could give me a gold trophy and I'm going to sell it for more money.
Oh, that's what I want, a gold
that's
trophy.
a good point. Maybe it's a gold one.
Some folks would feel more appreciated if they were given a more flexible work schedule.
Yeah, that's big these days.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
some
want,
people do it
want
really
the ability to work from home, and you want to do this, and you want to do that.
Dana, you were telling me yesterday someone you know has an unlimited time off policy.
Yeah.
One of my friends does too.
Yeah.
Is that more stressful?
Crazy.
As long as your stuff is done, they don't care how much time you take off.
Yeah, or they don't care where you do it from. So you could be in Biafra.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first place you
Do they have
thought of.
internet in Biafra?
I don't know.
What's the Wi-Fi like? You got to put your own hotspot?
Well, it doesn't matter as long as you get your work done.
I know nothing about it. Maybe they have great. Maybe that's where the internet comes from.
You need to respect my time outside of working hours. Some folks say they would feel more appreciated if the boss respected their, well, more or less what they're saying. Respect my personal time. Don't be calling me on Saturday. Don't be this and that.
No, we've had bosses in the past where I wish they couldn't contact us at any time of day.
Right.
Our current boss, he could call whenever. You know, we like talking to him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care if he calls.
But it is interesting in countries that have passed those laws, right? Where after whatever your work time is, you're not required to get back to any text, email, or anything work related. That'd be something. I would have loved to respond to that email, but laws. nothing I can do about it.
You want me to break the friggin' law? I don't exactly know what this one means, Josh. You're much smarter than me. Maybe you can help me out. Some folks said they'd feel more appreciated at work if they were empowered to be more autonomous.
Sure, instead of being micromanaged. Like, just let you do your job. Like, we trust you to get things done.
Right? How about a wellness program? Whatever that means. Some folks said they wanted a wellness program.
That would be pretty cool.
What do you mean, like a treadmill in the bathroom or something?
Yeah, I would enjoy that quite a bit, actually.
I've had a gym at work before. It was pretty nice.
I wonder if that...
Dude, you've had the coolest perks.
Yeah, see, they spent all their money on perks.
Yep.
I'm still jealous.
Listen to this. What are we watching? What was that MTV dance show that was on back in the day?
Grind?
Grind. What are we doing? Are we watching The Grind starring Eric Nies? Because some people would feel more appreciated at work if they got a shout out now and again. Can I get a shout out? What are we doing? We're on an MTV program?
Where are you getting a shout?
Give me a shout out, dude. You were on the phone the other day with the boss. You didn't say anything about me. You didn't give me a shout out. This is like ninth graders.
What?
And then, the way I started the conversation, 13% of us would like a trophy to be handed
That's
to
the craziest. What are you doing with that? Why do you want that?
I got it from work. It says...
Just so you can
You
show
did
it
it.
off at home?
I don't know.
Check it out. I got 5 of these bad boys all lined up.
Look
On the
at
mantle
this,
above the
honey.
fireplace.
Yeah, how about just give me the money that costs to make?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a shout out right now to my homeboy Cubby. Boom, 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 boom. I don't have my drum machine hooked up, or I could play a song that goes along with my...
God, I love that sound.
Here's the good news now. We're right in the middle of what season, Josh?
Cuffing season?
No.
The holiday season?
The holiday season. It says
It's
here
also
that
cuffing season.
What is cuffing?
Well, that's when you kind of hook up with somebody.
Oh,
right?
word?
Yeah, boo up for the holiday.
Oh, I'm
you gotta
warm during the winter
I'll
months.
cuff
Stay
everything.
warm and you
Anybody.
Got a nice companion.
Overall, workers feel more appreciated during the holiday season than any other time of the year. But I mean, again, I certainly understand the feeling of being I understand that feeling. You feel like, oh, no one But also, come on, you're grown now. Nobody's obligated to give you a cookie and tell you how amazing you are. If you're expecting all that, I think that's your problem.
What if they gave you a trophy spouse?
Oh,
You know, you start out there like, hey, whatever one you want, just pick the trophy spouse.
How long do I get to keep my trophy spouse?
Well, if you say
through
spouse,
through the length
forever.
of my contract?
Yeah, exactly.
For 1 month.
Through the length of
Yeah,
my...
it's contractual.
We got to get going. We only got a few minutes left, Josh.
We're coming up on it. We're going to have to weigh ourselves down when we walk out of the building before we get blown away. Windy out there.
It's just going to be a hell of a deal.
I wish I had hair to blow in the wind.
I miss I don't like it.
Long Fabio-like hair.
Yeah.
You can have mine. I hate it. It's always in my stupid face.
I've always wanted yours, and I'm going to take it.
I also
chop it off, locks of love style.
I'll keep the door unlocked.
I also wish I had a big head of hair so it could blow in the wind while I'm on horseback solving crimes.
Wouldn't that be something? And if I had your hair, Ashley, I'd wear nothing but an open blouse. That'd be my new outfit.
Just a white blouse, and there's always a fan somewhere.
We got to get going again. You've been a great crowd. We expect to hear from you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our Thursday show. Josh, you watch a lot of television. You were telling us a few days ago when we got back from vacation that you spent your week away from work watching a lot of television shows. According to what I just read, a program called Shogun was voted the greatest show for the year 2024. A program called Shogun.
I haven't watched that yet.
Never even heard of it.
Best show of the year, and you people haven't even heard of it?
No.
I've heard of it. It's FX and Hulu.
Unbelievable.
It looks pretty good. I don't know. There's plenty on the list I did watch or do watch. Hacks.
Oh, Hacks is wonderful.
It's great. Shrinking is
Love
awesome.
that.
Absolutely love it.
Let me mark these off as you're saying them. Hacks.
Yep.
Shrinking.
Speaking of shrinking, Josh, did you see that the season finale comes out on Christmas Day?
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
No.
That's going to be too emotional for me on Christmas Day. I don't want to cry.
Lioness, I watched that one.
Not on. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
it's on
number
the list.
17.
Lioness.
Girls 5 Eva.
Oh, that one's fun.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty funny.
What the hell are you talking about? Go
So
ahead.
Those are the only ones on the list that I've watched.
Here are the greatest shows for the year 20 plus 24. If you're the type that watches a lot of television, maybe you want to try them, maybe you don't. I don't care. John Mulaney presents Everybody's in L.A.
Oh,
It's a Netflix show.
I can handle Mulaney in small doses.
Matlock. What? Matlock?
I brought Matlock back.
What, did I just jump out of a time machine?
I actually have been meaning to watch that.
Matlock? Who was the old star of Matlock back in the day, Josh?
What was his name? Darn it. Well, it's a girl now. It's
A girl?
the chick from Misery. Why can't I think of her name?
The chick from Misery?
Yeah. Oh, it's driving me nuts.
Andy Griffith.
Kathy Bates. Not Andy Griffith.
Yes, Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
She's the new Matlock.
Is the modern day Matlock. In the old days, it was Andy Griffith, wasn't it?
Madeline.
The Bear.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So good.
Hands.
Corner.
Chef. Hands. Fire one.
I don't know what that is, but it's obviously a reference to the show, and that's fun.
Behind.
Great.
Agatha all along.
Oh, I did watch the first episode of that. I like that lady, whoever that lady
The
is.
Traitors.
Oh, that's very good. You guys would not like that.
Why not?
Familiar.
It's where they have a bunch of like celebrities or reality TV stars, and then there's 3 of them that get chosen to kill people off.
Oh, nope, I have not seen that.
So it's not okay. I was going to ask if it's a reality competition show, but apparently not.
Next on the list.
We just said kill people off.
Yeah, like kill in quotes.
Oh, gotcha.
You're out of the house now.
Gotcha.
Next on the list of hands down the greatest television shows of the year 20 plus 24, according to some people that call themselves TVline.com. Colin from Accounts.
Not familiar with that one.
Somebody somewhere.
Yeah, haven't seen it.
X-Men 97.
Oh, I watched that. That was
Nope.
fun.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Loved that. That was really good with Donald Glover.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm more of a Danny Glover guy or a Crispin Glover guy. Josh, let's say you had to choose one, Danny or Crispin Glover.
Well, Danny, no offense to Crispin, but Crispin kind of freaks me out.
He freaks everybody out. Abbott Elementary.
I absolutely love that show.
Nobody wants this.
Oh, yeah, that was
Good
great.
one. Good one.
These are, and I'm only mentioning ones that we haven't yet. English Teacher.
Oh yes, that was very good. It's like Abbott Elementary.
Industry.
Which Glover did you say you'd prefer?
I didn't.
Oh, which one?
I said I liked Crispin and Danny, but at least I don't remember making a choice. You had the balls to make a choice. You went with Danny Glover.
Yeah. Or I mean Corey Glover.
I
could throw
would
any Glover in
choose
there.
Corey Glover, lead singer of Living Colour, also starred as Francis in the 1986 Best Picture of the Year Platoon. Anyway, I would choose to hang out with Crispin Glover because Crispin Glover likely still is in contact with Leah Thompson, Hubba Hubba.
Oh, definitely Hubba Hubba.
Baby Reindeer. I watched that. It was disturbing as hell.
That was really weird, but I liked it.
I heard it was weird. The bathtub scene you guys told me about, can't do it.
I don't remember the bathtub scene, which is a good thing. But I remember it was really strange and disturbing, but yet enjoyable. I guess I gave up towards the end because it just got really weird. Anne Rice's interview with a vampire is also on the list of the great.
Yeah, that was number 2. So I don't show up until number 5 on the list with Hacks.
That's okay.
Didn't watch the top 4.
It's all right, dude.
But Shogun, that one looks pretty good. I'm surprised
Yeah,
you didn't
I'll
watch
have to check that
Walker.
out.
Yeah, I don't have FX or Hulu.
Wow.
Damn, I just thought
And
of maybe.
you have the courage to admit that on the radio.
Yeah, I do.
Lame.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, our thoughts go out to spoiled brat Jesus and family. This is always tough. They had to put down their best dog in the world, Coda, yesterday. We were sorry to hear that this morning.
What is the listener's name?
The spoiled brat Jesus who texted that in.
Spoiled brat Jesus. Sorry about your bubby.
Safe travels to Marissa, Crazy Fish Guy Jesus, Talia, and Tyler. They're flying to Vegas to party with rodeo clowns.
Dude!
For the National Finals Rodeo.
That would be sweet.
That sounds fun. And happy 63rd birthday to Brother Bill from Brother Bob.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants to wish you a happy holiday season and wants to let you know that Standard Heating is ready if you face a heating emergency. Their expert team is available through the holidays to make sure you stay warm and safe, no matter what. Become a Smart Club member so that you'll have peace of mind knowing that you're covered for the upcoming winter season. For more info or 24/7 emergency heating services, call 612-824-2656. Comfort you deserve since 1930.